Finally, The Rock has come back to...
Still talking?
Yes, he has. The Rock has come back to the Still Talking podcast. We are glad to have The Rock here. Thank you again, everybody, for being here for the Still Talking podcast, episode 4, the WrestleMania edition.
Oh, those are hot. Oh, man, I got the
Transition.
I got the jalapeno chips, and they are a lot hotter than I thought they would be. Holy moly! And I rub my nose.
From where?
God.
You're dumb.
Without hoping they sponsor us, Schlottky's.
Okay.
We gotta go.
No, but... Alright.
The heck?
We gotta go.
Let's go!
We apologise for the technical difficulties to start off. But everyone, welcome to the Still Talking podcast. We are here on a very special edition because it's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania Saturday. It is day one of WrestleMania. And honestly, man, you might want to check Twitch. It is day one of WrestleMania, the most stupendous 2-day WrestleMania of all time. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it. We're watching it in Discord after this. So anyone that is in Dorman's Discord, feel free to come and join us. Come and chill with us while we watch the main first night. But we're doing our predictions. We're gonna go over like our top 5 WrestleMania moments. We've got a lot to get through. And honestly, I think this looks pretty good. So where did I put the thing?
Right there.
I can. I'm amazing. So we start out standard intro doing Dennis, Jax, Starman, obviously all here as well. How much else are everyone looking forward to WrestleMania? What are your thoughts on how it's been built up? Are we all as excited as I am?
I have a question.
No.
Already?
All right, then. Yeah.
I'm joking. What's your question, Jax?
What is WrestleMania?
The biggest 2-night event in pro wrestling.
Is the event of
Imagine the World Cup had a baby with the Super Bowl.
No.
It is the Super Bowl.
But it came out. It came out not a football thing, and it went completely the other way. Yeah. By the way, Dom, we can see your Discord on the actual Twitch stream.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah, we can.
No, you can't.
No, we can. It's behind the WrestleMania badge. I'm looking at your stream now, and I can see my logo, your logo, Dennis's logo,
Yeah.
Jax's logo, and the little pause thing
Yeah.
in the corner. Like, I can literally see your Discord screen.
Yeah.
Is that right? Hey, if that's how you want it, cool. I thought it was a mistake. We will roll with it. We have started this week off in fine form.
The complete shambles.
I blame Jax.
Why? What?
I don't know. It's easier. But yeah, Doman, Dennis, mainly question to you two because of the fact that Jax isn't the most into sport. How are you?
Say that again, and I'll bite you.
How are you guys looking?
I will
forward
pay to
the
see
event?
that. I will pay to see you bite him.
All right. How much?
Name your starting price.
This WrestleMania podcast
at
is not
least
very
enough to fly
WrestleMania.
over.
I'll meet you halfway if I get a cut.
What? Halfway in the middle of the Atlantic?
The closest country, obviously.
Hey, just find where the Titanic sank, that iceberg, and we'll call it there.
I don't know where it
That's
is.
for a different discussion, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough.
Can we get back to the WrestleMania talk?
Sure.
Not.
So,
WrestleMania
Dennis,
talk. Yes.
Dennis, Dorman, how much are you looking forward to the event? And also, what are your thoughts on how it's being built up as well?
I'm a little torn. I think some things have been built up very well. I feel like other things have been built up poorly. And I'm hoping for an extremely big payoff.
Yeah, I mean,
What would you say? Sorry, Dorman, go on.
I kind of agree with Dennis there. Like, I think there is I think the main event, the Brock and Roman, has been built up really well. I think the women's championships have not been built up very well. I think there's storylines there, but not overly aggressive storylines. Within the last week, there has been. I think there is excitement for who may or may not come back, but I don't know if that's coming back now. If that's coming back on the Raw after Mania, which is also another big episode. So I'm excited. It's WrestleMania. It is the showcase of the Immortals. I have always enjoyed the big events that WWE puts on, and this is no different. This is the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm a sports fan also, so like I enjoy the Super Bowl. I know this is entertainment, but I enjoy this. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the next 2 days.
He's a man of simple pleasures.
You wish.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
So how do we feel about obviously Friday Night SmackDown last night? We had
No opinion either way.
we had the Andre the Giant battle royale, and also we had the Intercontinental title triple threat, which obviously Ricochet went on to win. How do you feel that the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, especially because it was set up as a WrestleMania match, but also the fact that one of the titles, a very prestigious title as well, isn't being defended on a weekend like this?
2 titles.
Yeah, that's 2 titles, yeah.
Oh yeah, the US title's not there.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of part of the letdown that I have, because I feel like one of the better storylines that was getting built was Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, for a good WrestleMania match. And as always, they don't know what to do with Ricochet, which is a shame because he's uber talented. But as far as the Battle Royal, I wanted Finn to win it. I'm not a fan of Madcap Moss, who did win it, but I think that's just something they can use to further a storyline in another area. So it's fine.
Right. I mean, most of the time, the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal doesn't get pushed the way they should anyways. So, I agree that should have been on WrestleMania. It should have been at least on the kickoff show. Give more people an opportunity to be on the kickoff show. Not having either one of the secondary titles defended, I think that's a big miss. I think that you can't have every other title defended and not the U.S. title. Okay, I'll give you that. Not because of who it is, but because of the history of it. But the Intercontinental Championship, like that is, WrestleMania 3. That has history. So for that not to be represented at WrestleMania, it's kind of a shame.
I think Dennis kind of hit the nail on the head as well. The fact that when you look at the 2 champions, Finn Balor is one of the. He might not be like the top of the main event and stuff like that, but he's one of the biggest stars in WWE today. And Ricochet is loved by everybody. The fact that there's 2 titles that have genuinely really likable champions, you root for the champions, and they're missing out on WrestleMania moments just because they didn't want to put the titles there. That takes away a little bit for me as well.
Agreed. There's actually a 3rd title that's not being defended on the Showcase of Immortals.
I swear to God, if you say the 24/7 champion,
it is the illustrious, the undeniably stupendous 24/7 title.
Just give it back to Sami Zayn and call it. Or get R-Truth to come out and win it for the 9 millionth time.
He won't remember that he won it.
True.
So obviously
I think,
go on, Dennis. Sorry.
I was going to ask you, Greenfly. So, your thoughts on should they do away with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, or do you think they should push it more for the winner? Not necessarily like a Money in the Bank prestige or like a title shot with it, but should there be something that comes along bigger with it?
Yeah, I think the way that I personally do it, and it's kind of a take that many people would say, "Oh, I'm not a fan of that." I understand people that aren't a fan of it because it does sound kind of stupid. But if they're doing, and it looks like it's here for the foreseeable future, if not considerably looking at it permanently, we're going to keep 2-night WrestleManias going. If they do the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale on the kickoff show of night 1, they don't have to promise the winner title matches or anything like that. Give the winner a main card WrestleMania night 2 match. There's enough talent that you can give him a match that doesn't have to be a main storyline or anything like that, but you get something other than just a massive trophy that you can't keep anywhere because it is huge. You literally leave it there because you can't take it anywhere. I think the only winner that could have lifted it was probably Big Show. You can't do anything with it. Give them a match on night 2. It can open the show, but there has to be some sort of reward, and it has to be on WrestleMania. That was the sole reason for it being set up.
Yeah, I think it's the sole reason to represent Andre the Giant, but there's no point to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it also goes as far as what's the point of the King of the Ring? And I know this is talking about WrestleMania, but what's the point of the King of the Ring? The King of the Ring doesn't get a title shot. They don't get pushed. Could you tell me who the current King of the Ring is?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
It's Ricochet.
No, it's not.
It's not
Except
Ricochet.
No, it's Xavier Woods.
Oh yeah. Oh, once again,
Royal Council.
yeah. There's my thing. Like, I couldn't tell you that. And
I like King of the Ring. It's very much it's history because it's been around so long. It's history. It's nice to see, but it's just whereas if you win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, there's no prestige to it. You can't build a storyline off it because it doesn't mean anything. There's no history. It's not like winning the Royal Rumble. It's winning the exact same type of match, except obviously everyone starts in the ring together. But there's no history. There's no prestige. There's nothing. At least with King of the Ring, I remember when Baron Corbin won it. King Corbin, he had a storyline to build off. It gives a superstar a chance to actually get airtime, get good TV time with a storyline that it doesn't take a lot of work. So I'm all for keeping King of the Ring. I personally fully agree that the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, it should be scrapped completely. But if not, I think what I said before is the best way to go forward. Night 1 kickoff show, winner gets the night 2 match.
I would even say winner gets their choice, U.S. or Intercontinental title shot.
Yeah,
Because then it also can build hype around either one of those titles if you don't have a story to push into WrestleMania like we have with Ricochet.
Yeah. The champion is very much in the dark about who he's going to face.
Yeah.
Can't prepare for it. There's no mental preparation.
Hey, Vince McMahon, if you're listening, hey, we copyright that idea. We're going to trademark that idea.
Yeah.
Right.
If you need some new guys for creative, we're there. But like when Mojo won it a couple of years ago, when obviously there was the whole Gronk involvement and stuff like that, Mojo won it. Mojo was, for me at that time, a superstar that a lot of people wanted to see do well. I think this was just after the Zack Ryder partnership and stuff like that. If Mojo wins that Battle Royale, and then he gets the chance to go on and have an Intercontinental or a US title match, fans lap that up. He doesn't have to go on and win it, but it upgrades his stock, it gets him a big match, and fans enjoy it. And you always make the Battle Royale winner, one of the fan favorites. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like the best wrestler in the match. Make it a fan favorite, because then fans want them to think, and that, as Denny said, that builds the hype around those two sort of lesser championships, and it gives at least one of them a reason to be at WrestleMania every single year. Yeah. So we don't have a situation like we do this year.
I mean, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of matches on the card.
I think the current format, it has to be scrapped. But if they keep it around, there's a lot of options that they can do that would make that match relevant and actually a good part, and always keep it on the kickoff show for me.
Right. I mean, I would be fine with if they didn't have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. If they didn't have that, and maybe had a celebrity deathmatch type of Battle Royale, where the celebrities are the, you bring in Bad Bunny, you bring
the participants.
Yeah, just the participants.
Yeah, that's where your Logan Paul,
I would rather Johnny Knoxville and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather,
Sorry, boys.
You okay?
I'm playing Apex. I just got a dub.
You go.
Dub.
Speaking of Johnny Knoxville and stuff like that, news is because obviously this week we decided we needed an actual agenda to work on, so that we don't run over too much. We want to make sure we're done for the main card and stuff. Moves us perfectly on to that next point, which is like, what are our thoughts on the celebrity involvement in WrestleMania? Obviously, it's always been there. Remember, Shaquille O'Neal being there, Floyd Mayweather, and there's always been celebrities there. Do we need 3 matches with celebrities?
No.
No.
Because I'm personally listing Pat McAfee as a celebrity involvement.
I mean, I think that match could have happened on SmackDown. Honestly, I don't think that's a WrestleMania match. I mean, I'm happy for Pat to be in WrestleMania, but I don't think that match needed. I'm not a big fan of Austin Theory, so that's where I'm at there. I think Logan Paul brings people in because of what he is doing in the
exhibition boxing.
In his boxing, in his YouTube and stuff like that.
Huge. He is huge.
Yeah, I think Johnny Knoxville is that. To me, that's a throwaway. Like, I don't need that. I could have no. You could have Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor, Sami Zayn versus Ricochet with Johnny Knoxville as the guest ring announcer,
referee. Yep.
Yeah. Or
I didn't say best referee.
Yeah.
That's what my next point was going to be. Same with Logan. Does Logan have to be in the match, or could it have been?
I think he has to be in the match.
I think there's been the whole, obviously, the Miz unmasked Ray. Does Logan have to be in the thing, or can we have Miz versus Ray with Logan there? Anything goes, and Logan kind of gets involved, because in my opinion, and I said this to Dennis, you can't have a legend like Rey Mysterio and a talent that they are clearly trying to push in some form in Dom. Like, you can't have them squashed by Logan Paul, because there's a chance it completely ruins Ray's return to WWE. Well, he's clearly not there. It's time to retire, when that might not be their plan. And if you're trying to push Dom, you can't have him lose to someone that's been practicing for 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. Just 2 weeks. He's
2 weeks. We don't pluralize weakening him.
I mean, you can have him lose to them. That is kind of the Ronda Rousey thing. Like, she wasn't a WWE wrestler. I mean...
Yeah, but Ronda didn't... I don't think Ronda really won much at Mania. And then, before she got major pushes, she was all... That wasn't like her... She came in as a celebrity involvement. That was her debut. She then came on as a full-on, superstar, diva, whatever people want to call them. And, she's now an active part. She went away, because I believe she was pregnant, came back. She's now back in that title picture. they knew at that point that was her plan. She'll have been training for months.
Right.
Logan's not sticking around in WWE after tonight.
Yeah, I think Logan is going to be okay. I think it's the Bad Bunny from last year or 2 years ago, whenever he was in. He did good. I mean, he respected the business. I think Logan is okay. I think he'll be okay in the ring. I think it's okay to have him in the ring. Now, I don't, like I said, the other two, I'm not a huge fan of either one. In the wrestling ring.
I think I was saying to Dennis that the good bit about the Johnny Knoxville one is Sami Zayn is a great in-ring general. He can carry a match. He's excellent at it as well. And they can do whatever they want. If they say to Johnny Knoxville, we want you to jump off summit, Johnny Knoxville isn't going to say no. This is a guy that he got pelted by a riot gun. He's made a career of doing very dangerous stuff. He's not going to turn down doing a massive stunt in a very safe environment. So they can do whatever they want with that. And I think that's kind of the angle they've gone with. A WrestleMania moment where they can literally do some of the biggest stuff in WrestleMania history if they choose to do it.
I mean, they could choose to do it. I don't think that they're going to go anything over the edge of what they could do. Because, I mean, you also have to remember, I don't have it with me or anything like that, but he's a little bit older now. On the older side. Like, he's not going to do stuff that,
Johnny Knoxville is 51.
51. He's not going to do stuff that Shane McMahon, who's has grown up in this business and knows how to take a bump, is going to do.
That's the thing. I think he will, because obviously Shane McMahon knows how to take a bump. Johnny Knoxville doesn't care about getting hurt. If he messes up taking the bump, he doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't.
I don't think they'll do anything major. I really don't, because I don't see the point. I can imagine the only major thing that's really going to happen is I imagine a lot of the Jackass guys come out.
Right. Well,
I think we're going to see Wee Man, probably Steve-O, and stuff like that, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bit of a group attack. But just let Sammy win, please.
Right. And that was my whole point of, I think, by keeping off a Intercontinental or a U.S. title match, this is a perfect opportunity for Sami Zayn. They could have went in a different direction, had him in a title match, and then had Johnny Knoxville there as whatever, then start a program after WrestleMania. I don't think it was necessary to have him in the program at WrestleMania, but to have him maybe, the Raw after, or
I like him being in WrestleMania, just not in ring.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like him being there. I like him being there, but not.
Like, I'll tell you what I wouldn't have minded if you because what you could do is, as you said, give Sami Finn US title. You could have, obviously Johnny Knoxville doesn't like Sami Zayn in the creative minds of WWE.
Right.
Give Johnny Knoxville the special guest referee, and have him just screw Sami, and then Sami builds into a storyline with Finn Balor, where he's like, yeah, you didn't beat me clean, kind of thing. And have them take that to the Royal Rumble, potentially even further. And you've got what is Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor would be an excellent match. They're both great storytellers in and out of the ring. So the promos, the storyline is going to be developed incredibly well. And you're going to get great matches out of it. You get a very good US title rivalry.
Right. No, I agree. I agree that they could have done a push better. Because what happens after this? I mean, obviously we'll get to predictions later, but what happens if Sammy wins? What does that do for that program? What happens if Johnny Knoxville wins? What does that do for the program? Like, I don't. It was a very short program from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania. That if this is the payoff for it, then I don't get it, I guess. That's just That's my opinion on that. I just don't get how this is the payoff for that.
I think having him in a match is as a competitor, I agree. I think it's a mistake.
Right.
I don't think there's a positive outcome. If Sammy wins, it doesn't do anything for Sammy, like you say. If Johnny wins, it just buries Sammy even further.
That's kind of the fear. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Yeah, get Jackson.
they are.
Jax, what's your opinion on? And I know you don't know this, but like, what's your opinion on just celebrities like a Johnny Knoxville coming into WrestleMania and wrestling on the biggest show? Like, we were established it's the biggest show of the year. You know, there's going to be 100,000 people there, plus however many millions and millions of people watching at home.
I don't see a problem.
Do you think it's? Do you think it draws? And not just with Johnny Knoxville. I mean, you obviously know who Logan Paul is. You know,
Yeah.
you might not know who Pat McAfee is. He used to be a punter in the NFL. Now he has a really popular podcast, and talk show. But do you think those people bring the mainstream people into a WrestleMania?
Yeah, I think it might broaden the audience. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's a good bit of telly.
I mean, it is, but were you already going to watch WrestleMania anyways?
Fuck no.
Do you? Another question is: do you
Oh my
think it's
God.
fair to take those opportunities away from the actual professional wrestlers?
I think it's all for show. I don't think it's like it's not going to get involved too much, is it? Right?
Johnny Knoxville,
Yeah.
he's in a full-on match. He's
He-
going to
he's
get thrown
got-
around the ring for a bit.
Yeah, he's actually got a match.
He's
All right.
taken a spot that, like, an actual professional wrestler that worked their asses off all year, every year, to get a shot at a show like WrestleMania. And then all of a sudden, some guy that fucking skateboarded into a wall a few times is in a match that they could have had. And as we said, there's two titles missing from the card as well.
Right, and there's a huge difference too, because if you have throughout the years of WrestleMania, you've had people Liberace and Pete Rose, like people that come in and they're the guest Paula or Pamela Anderson, people that come in and they're guest ring announcers, they're the timekeeper, they're they're on the outside, but they're there for show. You know, they can get their picture taken, stuff like that. That's where I think that role is. Like, you have roles for people, and we don't know who's going to be. They'll probably have some people that are going to be guest ring announcers or a guest timekeeper or something like that. But that's what those roles are for. But are there people that would make you, Jax? Is there somebody that would make you say, okay, obviously here in the U.S. it's different than, across the world, but hey, I want to go and buy this because I want to see this person at that show.
Jax, the way I word it is, just because, as you said, you're a massive horror buff. If Mike Myers was to rock up and say, I'm fighting at WrestleMania, would you watch WrestleMania to watch the Mike Myers fight? Or would you still stay away from it?
I would say that a celebrity going in, right, would make me want to watch it a lot more than those who are already in the
business.
In the business, yeah.
I mean, is that very similar to the Super Bowl itself? Okay, I don't want to watch the Super Bowl. I don't want to watch this, but I'll tune in for the halftime show and watch.
Right.
Snoop Dogg and Eminem, like this past one.
Yeah.
Like,
obviously, in England, I'd say this is because the Super Bowl is massively American. WrestleMania is considerably more worldwide.
Right.
I think. I know a lot of people that stay awake to watch the Super Bowl halftime show at like 3 or 4 a.m. and they won't watch the first half. They'll stay awake. They will probably play a video game or watch a film, and they'll keep that on social media. And the second it says the halftime show is starting, they will put it on, watch it, and then probably go to bed.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think there's a lot of people in the United States that do that also, or they sit and watch the commercials. You know.
No, that's what I mean. Like in America, it's kind of not bad because if you're doing something else and then put it on, your thing. There are people in the UK that will literally stay awake till 4 o'clock in the morning to watch that because that is that popular.
Right, and that has to do with the celebrity presence of it.
Involvement, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the same kind of concept of this. There's a time and place for people, and I just don't think in a match that's
yeah. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Like for me, I think it should have been Ray versus The Miz with Logan at ringside. I think that works just as well.
Yeah, I mean, you could have done that. You could have done.
And if Miz wins, it doesn't look bad on Ray. Kind of thing. You don't lose stock on the wrestler that loses to a guy that doesn't wrestle.
Yeah, I think of the 3 celebrities, if you have to put somebody in, I think Logan is the one to put in to a match.
Pat McAfee is the ones to put into a match. For me personally.
Yeah, for me it's Logan because I think Pat McAfee can talk anybody. He is one of the best talkers.
Oh yeah, on the mic he's incredible.
So I don't think he needs to be in a match. No, he did some good stuff in NXT when he was there in the. I think he was in the War Games match. Or
yeah, he did War Games.
Steel cage match. So he's done really good stuff. So it's not like he can't go.
No, yeah, he's.
But yeah, Dennis, you have any thoughts on that?
Dude, so yeah, I feel like I understand the celebrity thing has been part of WrestleMania since WrestleMania was kind of a thing, but I'm all for it as long as it doesn't take away opportunities from guys, and especially this year, who actually have a title. And I feel like if you take away those 2 matches, McAfee versus Theory and Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn, boom, you can plug those guys with the champions of each respective title. So that's kind of where I have the issue with it. That's where I draw the line. But if both titles were already on the show and these were just celebrity matches, I don't think I'd have a problem with it.
But I mean, I actually 100% agree with you. But the devil
when it gets away of actual people with titles,
yeah,
that's when it's people don't like it.
But are we? The devil's advocate part of this is: are we going against these because they're celebrities? Because I mean, I'm looking at the card. Do we have to have Bobby Lashley and Omos on the card? Instead of taking the celebrity match off, why couldn't we have taken?
I'm not gonna lie to you, though, man. I don't think we need to have Omos in the WWE.
Well, yeah, that's not
very
debatable. I mean,
put Bobby in with someone else.
I'm only looking at the card. There's 3 matches other than the celebrities, other than the championships, and obviously the Edge and AJ. That's Edge and AJ. But there's 3 matches that don't have a title.
I actually really like how Edge and AJ is being built up as well.
Oh, of course. But that's what I'm saying. Like New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge. The Usos. No, not the Usos. Sorry. Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin, and then
lastly, the New Day versus. Oh no, wait, no, it's not. Never mind. I was. So it's the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge is directly under the Usos versus Shinsuke and Rick, which is obviously for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
Right.
I for some reason I just read that as it was the New Day one.
Right. So yeah, I mean, there's 3 other matches that, I mean, could also move out of the way for a championship match instead of the celebrity matches. But I know we're talking about the celebrity matches right now. We will talk about the.
Well, no, but that's what I mean. Would you rather see a match like the New Day and Sheamus and Ridge be taken off the card to put the Intercontinental title on and still have Logan Paul's involvement and then Pat and Johnny's involvement tomorrow night? Or would you rather the New Day, who we know are excellent in the ring, Sheamus, who's excellent in the ring, Ridge, who can hold himself in the ring very well, you're going to get a good match out of that, and it's guys that are on the payroll, they've earned that spot all year long. Would you rather keep that and the title match replace Logan Paul's spot? or Johnny Knoxville spot?
I would, me personally, and I'll throw it off to Dennis here after this. I would rather see the New Day match be on a kickoff show, either Saturday or Sunday, and then be able to put in U.S. title or IC belt.
And keep the celebrity involvement for the
And keep
main
the celebrity
show.
involvement how it is. You obviously built that up.
Yeah,
And
no,
keep
I
it as
get
it
it.
is, and then just move the New Day to kickoff. They're very popular. They're very crowd. They can get the crowd behind them. So move them to a kickoff show, and then let one of the secondary belts be on the main event. That'd be my thought. Dennis?
Yeah, I think 100%. I agree with that because the New Day has now got to a point in their careers where it doesn't matter if they win or lose, they're still getting over. And because of that, where they're at in their career with that, I think that'd be perfect to put them on a kickoff show for that. I would actually also move Lashley and Omos to the kickoff show because I don't believe Omos has earned
I
a
also
spot
don't think
on a WrestleMania card.
I also don't think Omos is good enough in ring. And I mean, I keep him at WrestleMania if that's your plan. Keep him at WrestleMania. But bear in mind, you've got Edge and AJ Styles. Like for WrestleMania Night 2, you've got Edge and AJ Styles. You've got RK Bro versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. You've got a women's title match, like a women's tag team title match, and the match that builds you up to the winner takes all, championship main event is Omos.
Yep.
Either they trust Omos to pull it out of the bag and hype that crowd up to something else, or Bobby Lashley is getting that done within a minute. And they're just moving on, and it's a quick little cool down between Edge and AJ
Honestly,
to Brock and Roman.
Honestly, I hope Lashley squashes Omos faster than WWE's plan and squash Lashley and what's her face's romantic love interest that
Lana.
yeah. Yeah. That I know Omos was supposed to be the guy to replace Braun Strowman. He has not done it. I think he's terrible in the ring. I think he's terrible on the mic. He's just so awkward. As far as like most awkward big guys, I put him up there, like even behind the Great Khali. I put him behind. What was that? Gonzalez, the Giant Gonzalez or whatever, who fought the Undertaker. I put him even behind him. He's just so awkward in the ring. It's like I don't know.
So
So when you say behind, you mean that he's worse than the Great Khali, yeah?
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yeah, as far as like working in the ring.
Okay, so obviously Great Khali, the Giant Gonzalez, you remember that match.
Oh, I do.
You remember the Giant Gonzalez. So, I mean,
it was stiff. I mean, it was a very stiff match. Yeah.
So, as a transition here, I guess, if we're done with that, do you think Omos and Lashley is going to be one that you're going to remember?
No.
Or you don't think that's going to be one that...
I think... Because here's the problem with it. Yes, I'll remember it as like a faint. Oh yeah, Lashley did fight Omos last year at WrestleMania 38, but I don't think Omos's trajectory is going to be high enough to make it memorable. Does that make sense? Like if Omos, let's say Omos actually squashes Lashley here, right? Then you got to put him to the moon. You got to make Omos fight Roman, or you got to make Omos hold the IC or the US title for 6 to 7 months. You know what I'm saying? Like you got, like if he beats Lashley, you got to put a belt on him. There, you can't not
like someone that speaks Lashley.
And then at that point, I think that's when you remember the match. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like as the springboard or the springboard for his career. But if Lashley squashes him and Omos does not live up to that, then no, it's like, oh, he was that guy that I beat at WrestleMania that one year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
also, before we move on to like our top 5 moments, our predictions for the weekend, we've spoke about Logan Paul quite a lot. I have just seen a picture of Logan on his practice ring walk. He looks the part. Like
Oh.
he's in full wrestling gear. He's what he's wearing. He's got his PSA 10 Charizard on a chain round his neck. He looks like a main event wrestler.
Oh, he's definitely. I mean, I've watched his fights too. Like he.
I'll pop it in the podcast Discord for you guys, and then if you want to, pop it on stream or something, Dom, it's completely up to you.
You can throw it. No,
But-
you can throw it in the wrestling talk.
I'll
that
just
we're
pop it in
going
there. That's what he's looking like for WrestleMania. He looks.
You mean you're talking about the yellow and black, half
He looks the
Wolverine,
part.
half Gambit
Yeah.
looking type costume?
He looks the part.
Right. No, I definitely. I think he's going to. I don't know if he's going to steal the show, but you're going to remember what he does.
Yeah, I can see him.
Because he's not going to let you forget. He's not going to let you forget what he does.
Oh yeah,
You know.
that's the point. If he wins, we're not going to not hear about it for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So is that pretty much all we want to cover in terms of celebrity involvement and how we feel about like that potentially taking places from titles, and would we swap out actual matches or non-title matches for the titles and keep the celebrity involvement, or are there any other points that people want to cover while we're there?
I mean, I think I'm good with the celebrity involvement. I'm good with the conversation of celebrity involvement because it's.
I think we covered it.
Yeah, there's 8 hours plus 8 hours plus of main event WrestleMania. You can get 3 celebrities in there, but you should also be able to get all your titles in there.
Agreed.
Making it 2 nights.
Agreed.
You know, and with having a 2-hour kickoff show both nights.
Agreed.
So that's. I guess that's
All
where I'm
facts,
at
no
that.
cap, my guy.
So the next thing on the list of running order that we decided to do was our own top 5 WrestleMania moments. Obviously, we have to do this. We've all written our own 5 down.
Sure.
Yeah, we have.
And the way I was thinking of doing it is purely if we all say our top 5, discuss why that's 5th for us, and sort of like why we put it there, and then sort of all go through our number 4 and work our way up. And Dennis, I say we start with you.
All right, my number 5 WrestleMania all-time moments was the career match Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
I like it.
I like it.
I thought apart from Brock and apart from Triple H, I felt that was one of the most evenly hyped and evenly unpredictable matches, and the amount of close calls definitely kept you guessing. I love that match. That was definitely. I feel bad because it's only 5. I feel bad because it is number 5, but yeah, that's number 5 for me.
Right. I know. I like that. Green Fly, do you want to go next? And I'm pretty sure we haven't discussed our top 5 with each other, correct?
No, we have not.
Okay. And these are for our own personal.
Yeah. So I think Doman hit the nail on the head. I suggested potentially doing one where it's still talking top 5, where we all maybe put a couple in, and then we talk about them, and between us we sort of place them in the top 5. But I think Doe hit the nail on the head when it was like, let's do it where it's our own, because every moment hits people differently. Some people loved that Brock was the guy to beat Undertaker. Some people hated it. Undertaker's now lost at WrestleMania. It should never happen, kind of thing. And that leads into my number 5 pick for Mania top 5 moments. It is the streak ending at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar beating the Undertaker 21-1 popping up on the screens and the arena being shocked. And I felt the same. I did not see that coming. Once you got to 21 and he beat CM Punk, who obviously faced Taker when CM Punk was on the top, like right up to the top of the crest of a wave, and he couldn't get it done. However close he got, he couldn't get it done. I did not see Undertaker ever losing at WrestleMania, and then Brock pins him.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, no, I have that's in my top 5. Not number 5, but it's in there.
So what is your number 5?
What is your number 5?
Well, my number 5 kind of goes with what Dennis says, and I waffled back and forth. I had a tie, so I broke the tie. Mine is WrestleMania 28. It's the end of the era match with Undertaker and Triple H. And the reason why that broke the tie with the Undertaker Shawn Michaels is because Shawn Michaels was involved in this match as the referee.
Yeah, he was.
So I thought it added everything into the match. The way that afterwards, they're carrying Triple H back to the the ramp, and to stay at the top of the ramp. Like that was, to me, that was.
Yeah.
That's why that one went
Special.
ahead of Shawn Michaels for me. So if I have a 5A and a 5B, that's where those two go. But I definitely go with the end of the era, where, because it wasn't even the first match between Triple H.
The first Taker versus Mike. Yeah. Triple H Taker. Yeah.
The year before, because it was a 4-year saga. It was 2 years with
It was
Shawn Michaels. So this was a 4-year payoff on this match.
Yep.
So that's why that's in my top 5, and that's why I wish it was higher, but for personal reasons, other ones are higher.
It's funny because the Taker versus Triple H Hell in a Cell is actually my 6. So we literally are flip flopped on that.
Right.
That's hilarious. Moving though to my number 4, I'll jump in on number 4 real quick.
Sure.
You can't ignore it. Rock versus Hogan. Can't ignore it.
It wasn't that build as like Hollywood.
Hollywood Hogan versus Rock. That was, and I actually was, when I was watching it, because I remember the feeling I got when Hogan joined the NWO and WCW at Bash at the Beach. And even as a kid at that point, I think I was 8 years old, I said, oh man, that was so heartbreaking. I can't wait till people start cheering Hogan again. And then this happened, The Rock versus Hogan, and people were just enamored with Hogan again. It was I love it. And then you can tell, even in the ring, Rock and Hogan almost for a moment didn't know how to react because it was so backwards. Like immediately Rock turned heel in that match and Hogan was the face. Even though 3 weeks ago Hogan and the NWO ran over an ambulance that The Rock was supposedly in. So no, for me number 4 is Rock versus Hogan. Because it barely beats out Rock versus Austin.
Right. Okay.
Am I on number 4?
Number 4, yeah. You want my number 4?
That was me asking you for your number 4.
Oh, yeah. I went a little bit newer on number 4, and just for the historical significance of it. I decided to go with WrestleMania 35 when Becky won the unified whatever.
Oh, Becky two belts.
But more for the fact of that match itself being the first women's match to main event at WrestleMania. I think there was matches, like I remember watching Lita and Trish main event Raw, and that was insane. That was nice. Like that was good to see. Good wrestling and stuff like that. So when you get to here and you have the triple threat,
good wrestling.
You have so more for significance of it than anything. Like it was billed well. I thought the energy going into the match, the weeks leading up to the match were well, and I think they knocked it out of the park. And just for the significance of being the first main event. I mean, you just had the first main event, or the first women's main event in Saudi Arabia. Like anything, anytime anything's the first. So I mean, by saying this, like I also don't have WrestleMania 1 on here, but anything's the first, it's pretty special, and I think, the first women's main event at WrestleMania was it's trailblazing, and I know that's
it was huge.
It is trailblazing, and it was huge, but also I will say is WWE got it spot on with the women's match they picked to main event at Mania.
They did. The only reason that's not in my top 5, man, because I that one and the other one I wrestled with too in my mind was Sasha versus Bianca last year. Mm-hmm. But the reason I didn't choose the Becky 2 belts one is because it was a botched finish. If it wasn't a botched finish, then it hands down for me was top 5.
That was like
that's the only reason it didn't make top 5 for me.
I was saying to Dennis earlier, there were like 9, 10 moments that I was choosing between. My top 3, they sort of follow a bit of a theme, but they're just moments that like personally made me like they're moments why I love wrestling and what it is in the story it tells. But my number 4, you were speaking of going new, I went for one of the biggest moments that happened in WrestleMania history, let alone recent history, the heist of the century.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins cashes in.
Yeah.
Reigns versus Lesnar, main event. Seth comes down, steals the title, steals the show.
Yep.
For
big
me,
time. Big time.
It should have happened a long time ago, where a Money in the Bank briefcase was cashed in at the biggest stage of them all, and it hadn't. But I'm so happy they waited for it to be Rollins, because Rollins pulled that off so well. He afterwards, like the storyline leading out of it, he played off it so well. And also the match between Roman and Brock was incredible. It just added to it.
I will say that match is in my top 5 as well, and I'll speak more on it when I get to there. My reasoning, but I agree. I agree with exactly what you're saying, Fly.
So my number 3, following on from that, is it's already been mentioned. Goodbye, Shawn. Shawn Michaels losing to The Undertaker. Career on the line. Shawn Michaels in WWE is no more. At least in ring, obviously. I remember like when I was growing up, and obviously it's worth remembering. I am, in terms of like the people that are currently talking wrestling, I am the youngest by quite a way. Like when you were mentioning the WrestleMania that were 21 years ago, I'd have been 3.
Right.
I wasn't like interested at that point. The generation where I got into wrestling was The Undertaker. I grew up idolizing Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold. These people like John Cena just starting out, Randy Orton just starting out, and early Batista. It was that era that I grew up in, and I fell in love with wrestling because of. And when the first time I genuinely hated an outcome in wrestling was when Shawn lost, and that was it. My idol within that business just wasn't there anymore. Yeah. And that is a moment from WrestleMania that I just don't forget. And it just beats out Seth Rollins' heist of the century.
Right.
Nice. Domain, what's your 3?
Why don't you go ahead, Dennis? Because I want to go 3 and 2 back to back.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. My number 3 is actually, and the reason it's number 3 is because I literally cried when it happened. Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry, I love you. Sweet chin music. 1, 2, 3. Now, granted, he did fight in other promotions after this, so it wasn't, the last
retirement.
match, right? The retirement, but just the feeling of the entire match. Oh man, that was such an emotional roller coaster for me. Flair versus Michaels is my number 3.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like it. Okay.
So go on then, Doman. You're 3-2.
All right.
3-2.
So this one hasn't been mentioned yet, and I don't know. I mean, I have a couple on here that you guys probably don't have. I'm going WrestleMania 30 when Daniel Bryan wins the title. WrestleMania. Just
That
because
was very much one of the ones in those like 7 or 8 that I mentioned.
Yeah,
Yep.
to me that, following Daniel Bryan back in his ROH days and stuff like that, what they did to him in NXT was ridiculous. But like,
Yep.
But you also remember, coming out of that, I believe CM Punk also had a title, if I remember correctly. So it was just the little guys. I mean, and I know that you think of wrestling, you think of the Hogans, the Andres, the stuff like that, but like, the little guy that can win. And I'm not saying Daniel Bryan just a little guy. You have Rey Mysterios and stuff like that, but just the way that
In
the
comparison
crowd,
to, yeah.
right, the way that the crowd was so behind him.
Yep.
And I think that paved the way for the technical Bret Hart paved the way for all technical wrestlers. But
Right.
the way that has paved the way for more
Smaller guys that can just whittle people down.
Well, that and the acceptance of the indie wrestler is more what it is.
Yeah.
So I really have that one high on my list because of that. Now I'll go to number 2.
Just on your number 3, the only reason it didn't break into my top 5 was the storyline itself was excellent, but I feel they, like the whole B+ player thing, I think they played on the fact that it's a guy that shouldn't be a champion, and he overcame all the odds. It would have been my top 5 if it had have been his first title. It wasn't, which I think, in terms of greatest moments ever, I think that just took it away from my top 5 because of the fact that you're a B+ player. You shouldn't be there. He's already been there.
Right. No,
Kind of thing.
Fair enough. I think I know where you're going with this, though, man. For your number 2.
I want to hear the number 2.
So I go with number 2. We're going to stay at the same WrestleMania, and it's higher than Dennis's is. It's Brock and Taker. It's the streak ending.
Nice.
So, I'm not saying WrestleMania 30 was the best WrestleMania ever, but
I will say that WrestleMania 30 was the best WrestleMania. I'll say that for you.
There is several, like, when you have 2 matches that, in my opinion, are top 5, it's up there. I mean, I think top to bottom, maybe 17 was probably better. But I think number 2 in my list is Brock and Taker.
Yep, that's actually exactly where I have it as well. Brock conquers the streak at number 2, and I'm rethinking a little bit here. I'm not moving it to my top 10, but I am moving Daniel Bryan winning the title up on the list, because if you think about it, that was the match that followed Brock versus Taker. That is probably the only match that could have been done afterwards that could have calmed the shock of the crowd, was Bryan winning the title. But yes, Brock conquering the streak is my number 2 as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel kind of bad for putting that down at number 5. Guys, you guys are making me question my decisions. So you two, I've obviously just mentioned your number 2s are the 21-1, the streak ending. My number 2 is Dennis's number 3 for very much the same reasons. It is the Sorry I Love You super kick, Shawn versus Rick. I genuinely agree. I think I might have cried a little bit when it happened. It was an incredible moment. Obviously, the respect between the two guys, you could tell he just didn't want to be the guy that pushed him out of the business. The storyline was incredible, and the execution was perfect. And it was one of the moments that hit me the most. In fact, I think it is the WrestleMania moment that hit me the most.
All right,
Fair
number
enough.
1. Number one
Number
for
1.
everybody.
You want to go ahead and start this one, Greenfly? Go ahead.
Just because you still had the same number 2, I'll let you two go first, just to see if your number 1s match up.
I can. I guarantee my number 1 does not match up because mine is a personal reason.
As is mine.
So I'm cheating. I have 2 number 1s.
You can't have 2 number 1s. Pick one.
Cheating.
Pick one.
Cheating. I have 2 number 1s. Nope.
Not allowed.
The first one is Seth Rollins cashing in, because he not only was it the greatest heist, he saved that match. And I'm saying that as Brock and Roman are headlining tomorrow night. He saved that match because the crowd was not into it. Roman wasn't over yet. Brock was repetitive. That crowd was dead. Seth coming in saved that match hands down and made it, for me, the 1B best WrestleMania moment. My other number one, my 1A, Kofi Mania. For the same reasons, Doman, you had Daniel Bryan winning it. I think you're number 3 because number 1, it was Daniel Bryan who put him over. Huge respect for that. But number 2, Kofi had 11 years in the business. It wasn't even supposed to be Kofi Mania. If not an injury to Mustafa Ali, he wouldn't have been in that picture. But then redeeming himself from when they were going to push him, and in that infamous RKO, stupid in the middle of the ring, Kofi Mania is my 1A.
I like it.
That would have been my number 1. And the reason I would have put that ahead of WrestleMania again is purely it was Kofi's first major title.
Yeah, yep. And that it was Daniel Bryan putting him over.
Yeah, again,
if it was any other opponent, oh my gosh! But yeah, because Daniel Bryan was the one who put him over, and it was the Kofi Mania, the whole B+ player thing. Yeah, I can't ignore that.
So my number 1, again, as you said, it is a personal one. Because as I said, the generation that I grew up on, my number 1 WrestleMania moment is the end of an era, Hell in a Cell, between Undertaker and Triple H with Michaels as the special guest, because the match was very good. It was carried very good. All 3 people that played a part in that match played their part beautifully, but it was, as I said, it was literally, it felt like the closing chapter on that generation that I grew up in. The sort of spearheads, the senior people in that thing, the guys that, the in-ring generals that helped me fall in love with the sport. It felt like a true passing of the torch to the newer generation, and it felt like it had been done perfectly at the right time with the right people, and that is purely why it's my number 1, just beating out Kofi Mania.
I like it.
Good pick. Doman, drum roll, please.
Mine is a personal one because I was actually at this WrestleMania.
That's cheating.
It is cheating. But mine is WrestleMania 13. And that is the double turn of Stone Cold and Bret Hart. The I Quit match, which Shamrock
yes.
That, I mean, because you could feel it on TV because I've watched that match several times. That crowd, it was in Chicago, that crowd didn't know what to do. Because you're supposed to like Bret Hart, but he was kind of turning a little bit. He came out later in the night and interrupted the Undertaker and Psycho Sid championship match. He was kind of feuding a little bit with Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold was still a badass, but he was kind of a heel. And the fact that, you see it. It's the Crimson Mask of Stone Cold not giving up. In my opinion, you don't see a double turn. You don't see a heel to a face and a face to a heel in one match. And it wasn't even... WrestleMania was not 100 years ago. It wasn't even... It was what it meant. And especially now you look back on it, that, obviously the King of the Ring catapulted Austin, but that match and that turn to a face for him really catapulted him into superstardom. And it didn't affect Bret. There's been articles and conversations with Bret about he didn't want to turn heel because he didn't want to lose his royalties. Because as a heel, he doesn't make as much money. People buy in his items. and they made it where he was a face in Canada and a heel everywhere else, and it was just, to me, that match, I watch it and I'm like, just the storytelling of that match, and from beginning to end, and that's why that's my personal number one.
I'm just saying that WrestleMania was a year before I was born.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. That was 97, I believe.
Yeah.
I was at the first WrestleMania. I mean, that was 84. I wasn't there. But you know, so that's mine. Like I said, it's a personal reason. It would be.
Just while we're still on this topic, real quick, there, anybody in the chats got any moments that they think we've missed?
Yeah, definitely. If there's anything.
I know some honorable mentions of mine. Again,
Yep.
Yes, Mania. Stone Cold versus The Rock. I know that's kind of cliche, but that one was pretty all time. The WrestleMania when Cena came out with all the guys and the Tommy gun stuff, that was pretty exciting.
Do you know who one of the Tommy gun guys was?
CM Punk.
Yeah.
He was on the back of the little old school car.
The Rockers breaking up, that wasn't at WrestleMania, but that was a good moment.
That was.
And now I was watching whatever the hell I was watching Rewind while we were talking. I think our top 5 are all good because they're all top 5 matches in our own opinions. There's moments like I was just watching down here, the Austin Shawn Michaels with Tyson.
Oh, when Mike Tyson is a special guest referee,
and when he knocks out Shawn Michaels at the end, like that moment. But that match wasn't that good.
No, it wasn't. It was not a good match.
No.
Especially marred by Tyson's fast count.
Right.
The intentional fast count.
Right.
But
so we have a number 1 with a Money in the Bank was cashed in. That was the Seth Rollins, for sure.
Yeah. Another moment that was huge, and I sort of only really bring this up because obviously we put in the Discord like that we use for the podcast, the top 38, I believe it was, that WWE actually posted, and they obviously mentioned when Snoop brought out Sasha, the zip line off the top of the stadium from HBK was a great moment.
Well, that was a great match. That was the
Iron Man match, wasn't
it?
Big Brett.
So it was on their list. It just had the match itself. But you remember the entrance of that because it was the Iron Man that went into overtime.
Yep.
Did I miss anything important?
You did not.
No, not really.
All right.
Do you have a top 5 WrestleMania moments for us, Jax?
Sure.
Do you have any wrestling knowledge?
No.
Knowledge.
Okay.
Not whatsoever.
Okay.
Do you know how long a pin is?
No.
Yeah, I like it.
I'll go this one as the minority on the podcast group here.
What?
Dude, I'm English.
What the fuck?
I am the minority of the podcast. I'm English.
Jack, for me, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, like I mentioned it earlier. The first time ever 2 African American women fought for the women's title or any major title at WrestleMania. I thought that was, like you said, Doman, historic.
Yeah,
in the sense of
trailblazing.
Absolutely. Well overdue, very much so overdue, and it was a good match. And it was a good match with a good build up to it.
I'll tell you one we've missed, and I genuinely really enjoyed watching it as well. I think it was one of the best matches that's been done at WrestleMania because of the fact that they could do it, because obviously it was pre-recorded. I really enjoyed the Bray versus Cena Firefly Funhouse match.
That one didn't tickle my fancy.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. I mean, and
I
honestly,
I'll tell you another one we've missed as well is Edge spearing thing out of midair.
spearing who?
Not Edge. Wait, not
Ed
Ed
Foley through the
spearing.
fire table.
No, did he not spear? I want to say Jeff Hardy.
Oh, you're talking 17, the triple threat ladder match.
Oh, off the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
the mid-air off the ladder.
Yeah, that was 17.
Just because he should have died doesn't.
Yeah, once again, those are moments. The match was good, but those are moments like the R.I.P. Scott Hall, but the WrestleMania 10.
Oh, the ladder
versus
match.
Shawn Michaels,
where he wins that. Like obviously the iconic him standing on top of the ladder, holding belts. Shawn Michaels told him to go up there, or he told the referee to tell him to go up there. But what I remember that match. Once again, WrestleMania 10, that'd be what, 94? Yep, we're old. Is Razor walking down and walking underneath the ladder. Like giving no cares about superstition, like walking underneath the ladder. And Shawn came down and walked up to the ladder and did the finger point and did no, and then walked around the side of it. Like once again, the moments that you remember of those WrestleManias. Matches were okay, but the moments.
A moment that nearly made my list was the Hardys returning as well.
The surprise return.
Yeah.
Right. No, that was definitely
that was not bad.
That's definitely on there. So I mean, I think everybody's list is as
respectable.
Unique, as unique as everybody, for different reasons. Like everybody has their own reasons of why they like stuff, and why they don't.
Yeah. I also don't think there's any moments on there that I disagree with being considered very good moments.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can tell. Like Greenfly, your list is a lot more modern.
Yeah.
Than mine for sure. Dennis is a little bit more modern too, but obviously you could watch stuff on the WWE Network or on Peacock, and
on the cock.
We are sponsored. We are not sponsored.
But you can watch that stuff, but it's not the same as watching it and reacting to it.
No,
the night that it's happening, or having a cable box that's a little fuzzy because you might not have the right channel. So you're just kind of watching. You're trying to see what's going on. So
you had your parents go out to the cable box and turn some things, flip some switches too. There, Hundo man.
Right. So like to watch those live or the night that they happened is way different than watching the replay of it. So I'm fortunate that I'm old. I'm fortunate that I've been able to watch.
I've never heard that before.
that I can watch more.
Right.
And definitely what Crazy said earlier, he just said it again. There was a thing of like if you'd go to Blockbuster or Family Video or stuff like that, 6 months after it was released and rent the VHS tape just so you could watch it. Like that was, you knew it had happened already, so it wasn't as special.
Yeah.
So, like I said, every moment hits everybody a little bit differently. I would have said, while I was sitting there, 97, I was 21. As I was sitting there watching that match, I wouldn't have thought that would have been 20 years later one of my favorite matches of all time. But I didn't appreciate it as much then. But the more I think about it and look back on it, I appreciate it a lot more now than I did then.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's I'm fortunate to be
I
old
agree
and
with that.
to have lived through that stuff. I mean, obviously the this is a WrestleMania thing, but the Monday Night Wars and stuff like that, like I watched those. I wasn't just 5 years old watching them. Like I was,
you were
a very immature adult at that point. Watching those.
You wasn't me.
You still are.
True. So yeah, I mean, I think I like everybody's list.
Yeah, I do
As do
too.
I don't, as I said, I don't think there's any like
Yeah.
overly questionable moments on any list. I think it works quite well. But I think just looking at the fact we've now been going about an hour and 20 minutes. Moving on to what was the next
is it that
segment on
time?
the list.
Well,
Is
and
it-
it's a perfect segue because, and I hate to steal your thunder here, but it's a perfect segue because is there going to be a match on this card? And I think
Correct.
Yeah.
You know
Are
what?
we going
I
to
do.
see a moment?
As a matter of fact, I do think there's a match on this list that will eventually be a top 5.
you hope
But
there
I'm
is.
but I'm guaranteeing. Yeah, I hope there is. But I'm guaranteeing you, it's not a match that you're thinking.
No,
No,
I
I
think
genuinely
it's,
actually think I know which one you're on about.
I think Edge and Styles is gonna
For
bring
sure.
the house down.
I think
That's one.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
one, and I also think
I really wish that match was on night 1 because having that and Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar on night 2,
yeah,
man, that's a lot of hype. But the Edge versus AJ
that's
Styles
why I
match,
think
Wait,
oh,
it
I'm
is night
so-
one. It is tonight.
no Edge. No, it's not.
Edge, hold on, wait, let me double check because I thought Edge and Styles was on night 2.
Yeah, they've moved it back to night 2 and put Seth on night 1. There's 7 on each. Seth's on night 1.
I'm googling it. Hold on. Actually, is it on WWE.com yet? The match list.
I don't know.
Stream live now on the cock.
But no, I mean, I think that has the
Um,
potential to be that. But
Yes.
would we? I guess that kind of doubles back to what I was just saying. Will we know tonight or tomorrow? Will we know this weekend? Hey, that's a top 5 WrestleMania moment match, or will we not appreciate it for a couple years?
I think
Um,
I think if we're cognizant of it, I think we can make that judgment call the
Very
following day or
quickly,
the
very
day after.
quickly.
However, like, what if? Right, exactly. What if this is the pinnacle of what these two guys do? We never see them
Yeah.
at this level again.
They're
Then I
both
think later
both
down the road,
hedging a
we're
bit
gonna look
now.
back and like, yeah, this
When
was
we look
it.
back on their careers, WrestleMania 38 was incredible, kind of thing. Yeah.
Wrestling.
But the match that I
Wrestling.
think on the cards that I've seen, where Edge and AJ are night 2, the match that I think is going to be the staple of night 1 is actually Charlotte v Ronda. I think that match is going to be actually very, very good. And plus, we don't know who Seth's fighting. If it's Shane McMahon, no man, I'm going to cry, and you know that. But the match won't be great.
Whoops.
If it's who I want it to be, it's going to be incredible no matter how bad the match is. It's going to be the moment of night 1, and probably the moment of the WrestleMania.
Well, I think we shouldn't waste any more time, and we should just jump into some
Let's
predictions.
Let's do it. Let's jump
Perfect.
in. Nope.
We're going to work.
Hey guys. Okay, so real quick, updated on ESPN. Edge versus AJ Styles is on night 1.
That's what I have it as.
Oh.
ESPN.
I have 9 matches or segments on night 1, and I have 6 on night 2. That's what I have.
Yep, I do too.
So
And that's according to ESPN.com.
yeah, the Espen.
The
Espen.
Espen.
So
Not the Ocho. Not the Ocho. So I'm actually very excited if that is on night 1 because holy smokes, yeah, I'm extremely excited for that match.
Yeah, this goes on for 2 nights. They've split it into 2 nights, and both nights around 8 to midnight, I think, is what the projected runtime is each night.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, let's go ahead and
I
start us
say
off.
we jump into it. The first match on the list that I've got written down, we will follow the list that I think me and Dennis read them in a very similar order. So I'll just work down the list. The first one is Big Time Becky Lynch, the current, or one of the current women's champions, against Bianca Belair. Who do we have taking home the gold?
I've got and new
I've got
Raw Women's Champion Bianca
Still.
Belair
I've got and still rolling as champion. Big time Bex.
Yeah, I got big time Bex also.
Big time
Oh,
Bex
I'm by myself
retains.
on that one. I like
Big time
it.
Bex retains.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I think it's going to be a good match, though.
I think it is going to be a very good match. Bianca
um,
and Becky are both incredible in the ring.
I
They both
love.
hold matches very well.
Yeah, I love Becky's energy, and I think just her by herself, her energy is great to be able to kick off the WrestleMania show.
Right. I think I have Becky winning, but the more I thought about it a little bit, I think Bianca might win because I think this is her full turn heel.
Oh, you think Bianca's going to go heel turn?
I think that's the
With
only
the-
way she can win. I think this might be.
You mean a heel turn in sense of she shows the killer instinct that Becky's questioned?
I understand that. All right, I think this might be my number one WrestleMania moment. This might be a double turn because everybody wants Becky to be a face anyways.
Yeah.
So this
Why
might
Becky?
be the Bianca turns heel, Becky turns
You-
face.
You know what's funny? Not meaning to jump ahead, but I think that would match considering the Street Profits are going heel, kind of. It feels like, and since she is with Montez Ford,
Montez, yeah.
you know what? I can see that. I can see that.
I
Doman.
wouldn't question Bianca becoming a. I won't put it past. I won't put it past creative to have Bianca turn heel. I'm not convinced Becky's going to go face. Not tonight, anyway. Maybe over like the next month or so. Maybe not tonight, but I would love to see Becky back as a face. I think Becky is an excellent face.
Well, I
And
think
it'd be fun to see Bianca as a heel with a title. So I do appreciate those two inputs.
I think the Bianca with the Street Profits. I think like you have to be on the same side. But I also now think depends on what happens with the unknown wrestler. It's Seth Rollins. Does him and Becky
that's
have
where-
to be on the same?
That's where I think so. I mean, if you want to I'll wait until we deep dive on that. But that is part of the reason why I'm predicting Bianca to win.
I would like to change my answer. Is it okay for me to change my answer?
Nope, they're logged
You
in.
can change your answer. Yes.
No,
Yep.
Dennis.
I say yes.
Dennis, we
Green
put
flag
them in
says
the
no.
Discord.
Jax,
No,
you're the deciding vote. Jax, can
we
he
put
change
them
his answer,
in
yes
the
or no?
Discord, so we had a winner. We had a winner. They were put in the Discord, so we had a winner. You
Wait,
can't go
deleted mine.
changing.
I deleted mine.
I haven't put
I
mine in the
deleted
Discord yet.
This is a This is a disgrace.
Travesty. No, because the more I
he's
think
gonna,
about
he's
it,
gonna
I
come
think
out. Becky's gonna win, and Dennis is gonna go. I want to change my predictions.
No. I'm not changing my predictions, but Doman knows where my mind is going for after
but
WrestleMania build, and
that's
it only
fine.
makes sense if Becky's not a champ.
That's
Right.
fine. But Doman predicted Becky will be champ. It just means he's wrong. I've predicted Becky's going to be champ. It means I'm wrong.
No, I'm
What's
changing
the point of it?
because if
You're not
Becky is a
changing it.
chance, that means I'm going to be wrong.
You're not changing it.
If Becky
You're not
wins,
changing it.
I'm wrong
You're not
because
changing
I'm
it.
going
You're not
with
changing it.
I'm
No,
going
you're not.
with I'm going.
No, you're not changing. You're not
I'm
changing.
changing
No,
it.
no.
I have it
Yep.
written down on
Do
my
it.
sheet as Bianca now. Bianca
Boom!
Belair
No.
wins.
We got
No.
two for Bianca.
match.
and
I
one
am
for Becky.
keeping score. I am keeping score.
Jax. Jax,
match
just pick a
what?
name. Becky or Bianca. Who wins? Just
Becky.
choose a name.
Okay.
Oh, we got two for Becky and two for Bianca.
So
I don't
I'm
like
gonna
the name
put,
Bianca.
Becky. So I equal, Bex.
Now, moving on. Miz
No,
and
not moving
Logan
on yet.
Paul.
Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Doorman. Bex.
No, Bianca.
No, he's Bianca.
I'm
Dennis.
Bianca.
He's Bianca.
Don't give me Bex.
Bianca. And Jax, you said Becky?
Yeah.
He did say Becky.
Cool. So 3 Bex.
No. Nope.
Green
free
flag.
Bex.
Give it up.
Nope. 3 Bex.
I think you have until we go to the next person to make
Deal.
up your
On
mind.
to the next person.
Which is who?
You can't say that. You were last.
No, I'm talking about to the next match.
Next match.
That's
Yep.
disgraceful.
Because you got to be able to hear
behavior.
reason. You got to be able to hear
It's-
reason.
No,
Green
it's
flag. You're
disgraceful
picking with
behavior.
all emotion right now.
Next
You're
match.
all
it's-
emotion.
All emotion.
Next match.
It's
please.
it's a fix. It's a
Next
fix.
match. The Miz and Logan Paul versus
We've got the Mysterios versus
Mysterios.
Miz and Logan.
Green flag, who you got?
I've got Ray Pins the Miz. The Mysterios.
Who you got?
I've got the Mysterios.
You got the Mysterios?
I do.
I've got the Miz and Logan Paul winning.
I also have Miz and Logan.
Oh, look at that!
So wait, you Dennis has
I have
Jax,
Miz and Logan Paul. Yep.
Yeah.
Jax, the Mysterios versus the Miz and Logan Paul.
No, you went Miz and Logan?
Me?
He did.
Yes, Miz and Logan.
I'm gonna go with the person I know.
So that's Miz and Logan.
He knows Rey Mysterio. Don't do that.
Now, Jax, who's your pick?
I'll go with Logan. Yeah.
Nice. We're split.
Not really. 3-1.
Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin.
I'll kick this one off. I'm going to say Drew McIntyre beats Corbin because Madcap Moss turns on Corbin.
You see, I wrote my predictions today, and I watched the segment of SmackDown yesterday where Madcap Moss looked very uneasy at the side of Corbin, and I picked Drew for the exact same reason.
But you know what's crazy? Baron Corbin doesn't lose pay-per-view matches. Have you guys noticed that? Like, he'll lose all the time on like SmackDown or Raw, but pay-per-views he doesn't lose.
He loses tonight.
Only if Drew McIntyre decapitates him finally.
I won't be upset. Doe, your prediction for Drew versus Corbin?
I have Drew McIntyre.
Oh, cool.
That's a pretty easy one.
I agree with Doman on something. Jax, Drew McIntyre or Happy Corbin?
I'll be right.
Pardon?
We'll come back to Jax on that one.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Yeah. So next on the old list, we have the Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the tag titles.
SmackDown tag titles.
Right.
SmackDown tag titles, correct.
I'll start this one off. I think Shinsuke and Rick Boogs knock off and new champions because I think the Usos. I think too much gold around one family, and that's a prediction of who's going to win tomorrow night. I think it's about their time to not be the champions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Shinsuke and Rick Boogs as my prediction.
Dennis?
I'm actually going with the Usos on this one. I'm going with the Bloodline. I'm rolling with the Usos. I do think they're gonna lose soon, but not to a. It's got to be a worthy tag team. I'm not saying Shinsuke and Rick Boogs aren't worthy, but I don't feel like they're SmackDown tag team champions worthy.
Think,
Mac, what are you asking me?
So Drew McIntyre or Happy Corbin?
The first one.
Got it. Nice.
We all
I think that's a clean sweep for all of us.
as a clean sweep for Drew. And the final one, the Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs.
The second one.
Ooh, it's a clear split. It's a clear split down the middle.
Briefly, what was your choice on Usos or Boobs and Shaka?
I went the Usos. I kind of agree with Dennis. I don't think they're going to be champs for long, but I do think the Bloodline walk out of WrestleMania unbeaten, is how I'll word it. And I just don't think Nakamura and Rick Boogs are the right people to win the titles, especially at the showcase of them all.
We should have done a bracket. Happy Gilmore was not one of the options. It's Happy Corbin.
We are doing a bracket.
Is Billy Madison an option?
Yes.
We are doing a bracket.
You know what?
Just a sidebar real quick. If not Shinsuke and Rick Boogs, you say, oh, it should be a tag team a little bit better than them. Who's really better? I mean, the New Day?
Me?
I mean,
so here's what I want. Or no, not the New Day. Especially not this new version of the New Day.
If you say what I think you're going to say, then wavelengths.
Actually, what I want to see happen on the SmackDown tag titles, I actually really want to see it go into the hands of Ridge Holland and Sheamus. Yeah. Yep, that's where I would like to see it go to because they're up and
Well,
coming, and they're
not,
good. They're a solid faction of their own. And to make them more
not,
legitimate, I say give them the tag titles.
not quite the wavelengths that that I've thought that I think we could see happen. It's unlikely to happen.
What were you
But,
saying? The Viking Raiders?
No, we'll get to mine a little bit later. They are involved in WrestleMania, so we will go over that a little bit later.
Okay, all right.
But the next match is the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. I have personally gone with. I am just typing out my thing in the actual list, so I've got a full list of who we all think.
Hold on, wait a second. What are you doing?
I'm not switching. So what I'm doing is I'll put it in this one afterwards. I've got predictions. Number 1 is Becky versus Bianca. I've got my prediction, Doe's prediction, your prediction, Jax's prediction, and we can see who actually gets the closest to getting everything right. And I'll just keep it all on one piece of paper. But I have to sort of rewrite my prediction underneath. So I've gone with Sheamus and Ridge to win this. As we said earlier, the New Day can lose and it's not going to affect anything. I think Sheamus and Ridge look good for the win. They look pretty good together. Obviously, they have the man advantage out there as well with Pete Dunne. I'm not calling him by that other name. Pete Dunne's out there.
His name is Butch, and his friend's name is Gunther. Gunther.
He looked good, by the way. On
he won.
He did.
Yeah.
LA.
I didn't realize who LA Knight was until I heard him. Until I saw him do something, I was like, "That looks familiar." He was Eli Drake from TNA.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know that.
Oh, Dennis. I mean, I can go. Because I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, I got Doe's name second, so...
I'm going with the New Day. Because I think... because we don't know when these matches are going on. Like, we don't know the exact order of them. So, I think the New Day might kick off WrestleMania. And I think that's... You're going to want a face to win the first match. So, I'm going to go with New Day.
Dennis?
Good pick. I'm actually going to go for a twist on you, Greenfly. I'm also going New Day, just because I want justification for Ridge Holland almost breaking Big E's neck. That's completely selfish, I know. Prayers and thoughts to Big E and your recovery. I hope you do get to wrestle again, man.
Is he there tonight?
I don't know.
I assume he will be there. I don't think he'll be at ringside.
No, well, I mean, there won't be any action. I understand that, but I think he. That's why I think they lead it off because I think he comes out with them.
That'd be a huge pop.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be a really good feel factor, like a really good feel factor as well.
Right.
Jax, the New Day, or Sheamus and Ridge Holland?
Yes.
Okay. No, that's Daniel Bryan.
That is not a name.
Is it not?
No, we need an answer from you though, Jax.
I'll take the third one.
There's only 2 teams.
Oh, all right, then 2.
So Sheamus and Ridge.
Yep. Although I will say I won't be upset if Sheamus and Ridge win. Like because of what I said earlier. With
in the same boat with the New Day. If the New Day win, I'm not going to be annoyed.
Yeah. Which one did Dennis go? Or Dennis? Which one did Jax go with?
Jax
Sheamus and Ridge. So it's a split down. It's a split down the middle. Two New Days to Sheamus and Ridge. The next match we have it's a difficult one to call. So I've done it 2 ways on my predictions, and I've written it a certain way. I've gone with it's Seth freaking Rollins versus Vince's mystery opponent. In brackets, please be Cody. So that's all I put, and I've put Seth wins unless it's Cody Rhodes. If it's Cody Rhodes, Cody gets the dub. Though you've mentioned it could be Shane or Mac. If it's Shane, Seth wins. So I've kind of predicted 2 different things.
You need to give us either Seth or the opponent. I mean, you have to choose.
Yeah, gotta choose.
Because
You got
the
gotta
only
choose.
opponent that's going to beat him is Cody. If I know for a fact now it's Cody Rhodes,
Then,
Cody wins.
Then you should put.
We don't know who it is.
I think you should put the opponent. I mean, this isn't a 1A 1B type of thing.
Dude, we're letting you change your answers.
I changed
but
the
as well,
answer before we went to
But
the
this
next
is,
one.
but here's the
still
problem. But
waiting
like
for you for
the
seconds.
green fight, this basically gives you an automatic dub on this match.
Yeah.
Like it gives you an automatic dub.
No, not really. Not really.
All right. Well,
Because
really?
Because if it's Seth versus Shane O'Mac, and Shane O'Mac wins, I'm wrong. If it's
Shane
Seth
O'Mac
v.
is
Cody,
not going to be. Oh my god.
If it's Seth v. Cody and Cody wins, and Seth wins, I'm wrong.
No, man. What's your prediction?
My prediction is whoever the unknown opponent is going to win. Whether it's
I'm putting
Cody,
it
whether
in capital
it's
letters. I put Cody. I've literally just put the name Cody. If it's not Cody, it doesn't count. That's my logic.
Okay,
Actually, no, what? I'm gonna put Seth/Cody.
That is
Sod
even
law.
worse.
Okay,
win.
That's literally
So hold on.
both.
So then if it's throwing names
I'll
out
tell
there,
you
if it's
what,
Dean
right,
Ambrose
no,
that comes
I'm
back,
willing to do this. I'm willing to say this, right? I will say that it's Cody or Seth, but if it's not Cody Rhodes that comes out, I will literally forfeit my my prediction. I'm gonna say
so just
I'm
put,
not saying that the opponent wins, because if it's Shane O'Mac, I'm not backing Shane O'Mac.
I think
like,
you. I
not
think at
even
that
as
point
an
you should put
outlook.
opponent. You should put the opponent.
No, because if it's Shane O'Mac, I don't want Shane to win.
It doesn't matter if you want him to win, but that you should put the opponent.
I've put Cody. That's opponent. I've put Cody.
That's a loss.
No, if Shane O'Mac comes out, I've still backed the opponent, so I get the point. I'm just not typing opponent. I'm typing Cody. I'm bringing it into fruition. Give us the American Nightmare, and everyone's happy. That's all.
I want to park here for at least a good solid 5 minutes because I think this can dive into even more predictions. But
Yeah.
I
Doman,
am
just out
going.
of curiosity, Doman, who did you
I'm
just before you jump into it, Dennis? Because I misheard. Doman, you went opponent, yeah.
I want the opponent because I think even if it's Shane and he is the actual opponent, he wins. I think if it's
You know
Cody,
what?
he wins.
Just to keep it as a fair thing, I will say the opponent wins. I want it to be Cody, but I will write it out as opponent just so that it's
Just to be fair,
representation.
I'm also going to go with opponent Cody Rhodes, but I say Cody or / opponent. And before we get Jackson here, just to park for a second, if it's not Cody and if it's not Shane O'Mac, who else could it be, or would you want to see?
Can I ask one question before we go there?
Yes.
Just one quick question.
Yes.
Why can't Seth Rollins beat Cody Rhodes?
Because, and the pure reason is, you can have Cody wrestle Seth again on Monday Night Raw and Seth win. That's fine. I don't think with the pop he's going to get, and let's be fair, the way he was mistreated when he was first here, you can't have him come back to what is, if he comes back with what he's gone and built in the industry, with what he's done in Ring of Honor, with what he did where he took on Dave Meltzer's bet of no other promotion is ever going to sell out a 10,000 seat arena for an event. He took that on and did it without a promotion, pretty much, and that's where AEW came from.
Okay.
If you're having a guy that's come in and he has built the company that, in terms of probably in terms of TV ratings and stuff like that, like WWE changed the time, like the run time of NXT to try and compete with AEW. So they took some of AEW's rating away because they didn't want people going over there. You can't have a guy that has gone and he has become genuinely, for me, one of the best wrestlers in the world. He is absolutely incredible. He's become one of the most liked wrestlers in the world. You can't have him come back to what is, I'm going to say this now, if his music hits, if we hear, like, if it goes dark and we just hear there's two royal families are wrestling and it cuts into the adrenaline kind of thing, yeah, that stadium is going to erupt. And I don't mean it's just going to go, hey, it is going to be probably the loudest pop of all time. It'll be Edge returning to the Royal Rumble, which was huge. You can't bring him back and have a guy that, unless you've written it perfectly, it looks as though he wasn't going to be at WrestleMania until a week ago. Kind of thing.
No,
if Seth Rollins wasn't in your plans, you can't have him ruin the biggest comeback of the year.
Right. No, as I said,
Yeah.
why don't we give credit to Seth Rollins on this one if it is Cody? So going back to
Seth is incredible, and if it is Cody, fair play, Seth is going to make that match incredible.
Right.
Like there's no question in that, but I just don't think he can win if it's Cody.
All right. So going back to Dennis's question about who could it be if it's not Cody and it's not Shane, who can it be?
For me, there's only two people that could survive the crowd's expectation of it being Cody, right?
Yeah.
There's only two guys. First guy is The Undertaker. Now, it is very too soon from his retirement speech for Taker just to pop up the next night on Mania. But he could survive.
He also did say never
Cody
say
Rhodes.
never.
He also teased us and said never say never last night at the end of his speech. The second guy has to be the Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Not crazy lantern boogeyman Bray Wyatt, the Fiend Bray Wyatt.
I agree with that as well.
I think those are the only two guys who could withstand the expectation of it being Cody, and they come out and the crowd still loses their stuff.
I disagree with them being the only two. I think out of the two you've just mentioned, the Fiend is the most realistic. Dennis, we were speaking yesterday when we were watching SmackDown. We know he's in Dallas.
Yes, he is.
He did say that he is specifically there for Mania.
Yep.
We don't know what capacity it's in. Is he? There's nothing saying that he's officially. We know he was, quote. I'm going to say it now, quote unquote, released while he was off grieving and getting over the loss of his close friend Brody Lee. Rest in peace, obviously. We know that he took some time out of that. Did they say he was released as a storyline? Plan to bring him back at a major event? Possibly, but he was listed as a released superstar, and there hasn't been a confirmation that he is either re-signed or he's still signed to WWE. Obviously, that doesn't mean it's not happened because there hasn't been an official word from WWE saying that Cody has signed, but we pretty much know that's happened because Dave Meltzer has pretty much confirmed that Dave Meltzer doesn't say things that aren't correct when it comes to wrestling. He's also very much in the know in the business. He's probably one of the first people to hear that story outside of WWE. And he said it's done, it's a 3-year deal kind of thing. I believe what Dave Meltzer says in that sense. I do think Cody's confirmed. Whether he appears tonight, that's a different thing. He could appear on Monday. Another possible option, but this one I don't see happening, just purely because I think we'd have heard something by now from the other side of the business. John Moxley has a thing in his contract with AEW that he can buy out, and it's the equivalent of, he buys out his contract, so it's not like his contract runs down. There's no compete clause or anything like that. He would be a free agent as of the minute he bought out his contract. Have WWE worked something like that? Could we see the return of Dean Ambrose? Not the lunatic fringe, but a new, pretty much the same character he had in AEW. Bring back Dean Ambrose, book him properly, and that is another guy that I said I don't think there's only two that you could bring out that would be able to rise above the booze that would be the expectation of Cody. I think if Dean Ambrose music hits, the pop is gonna surpass any sort of disappointment from Cody because of the fact that Dean's back and Dean's amazing, and we loved Dean when he was there before. We love Mox in AEW. That would be plus it's the Shield would all be back in WWE, two of them facing off. It could pretty much be sort of like he comes back and you re-pick up the feud from when Roman Reigns obviously announced he was back. The leukemia was back, and he went off TV for a while to go and obviously recover. And Dean attacked Seth. There's history there. It would work. Have WWE been able to get him to come back? He said he didn't really want to come back. I don't think that's going to happen, but there is, figuratively speaking, a possibility it could be. I would like to see the Fiend. I think the Fiend back is only a good thing. Don't think you align him with Alexa Bliss this time, but I'd like to see him back. Taker, I think it's too soon. I think it's going to be Cody. I think it's going to be Cody. In my heart, it's going to be Cody. As long as it's not Shane or Mac, I'm fine.
Right. Yeah, I don't think there's much. It has to be a big person.
Yeah.
It can't be.
It's got to be on the level of like the three names that we've just said in terms of Dean Ambrose.
And it can't be a known person in wrestling. I've talked to you guys about like Okada and stuff like that. Like, people that know wrestling and like know New Japan wrestling would know who it was, but you can't have that. Like, that's not.
That's why I said. That's why the wrestler I brought up was Dean, because obviously he has history in WWE. People are going to know who he is. That's going to be magical.
It would have to be somebody. I mean, I've even racked my brain about people that are from Texas. I mean, would it be
Stone Cold?
Stone Cold's already involved. Booker T. You have JBL. They're both from Texas. But I just don't know if that's even. Because then that's, I think those guys might come out with Austin because of the whole hate on Texas thing. So I mean, I'm with you guys. I think it's Cody, but his music doesn't hit first, and I've said that several times. His music doesn't hit first, whether it's Vince's music, whether it's Shane's music.
I think if it is Cody. I don't think they hit Shane's music to introduce him. I think it's Vince comes out and introduces the guy kind of thing.
Right. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Jax, what's your opinion on this?
Jax has forgot the names we've mentioned. He's like, who's Dean Ambrose is going to win?
Do you think Seth Rollins wins, or do you think Seth Rollins' opponent
His mystery opponent wins.
Let's go with mystery. I'm a bit of a gambling man. I like that.
Full sweep of opponent.
It's not Nick Merckx. Nick Merckx is not coming out.
Why? Nick Merckx is.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm just sitting here enjoying a fish fry.
Ooh. What kind of fish?
Haddock.
Yummy.
Interesting.
So, the next match on the list is the other women's title match. It's Charlotte Flair, your current champion, against the returning Ronda Rousey. I myself have gone with Ronda. I think the match is going to be excellent. I've gone with Ronda to win and the new champion, Doma.
I've also gone with Ronda to win. I think it's a travesty that both women's championship matches are on Saturday.
Yep, I do agree.
Why we don't split them up, I have no idea. But I'm going with Ronda to win because I think Charlotte on a chase after WrestleMania is a bit better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Ronda, you try to keep the mainstream people interested after WrestleMania, and Ronda keeps them interested. She can go on the Tonight Show. She can go on Ellen. She can go on different shows.
She is already like worldwide,
right?
phenomenon kind of thing.
I think I honestly think I'm wrong on this one, but I'm going to go with Ronda.
I am going to go also with Ronda Rousey for this one reason only. I believe in this.
He has the worst armbar in WWE.
It will have a distraction finish. The return of Asuka, and Asuka interferes and causes Charlotte to lose the match.
No,
Okay, so do you think Ronda wins
The
but Charlotte
belt.
retains? For example,
No, Ronda's going to win the
potential
belt. Ronda is going to be the new
Oh, so
SmackDown Women's Champion.
Oscar provides a distraction, not an actual physical
Exactly.
interference.
Yep, that's
Then
exactly what I
it's
think is going to
Charlotte
happen.
Flair or Ronda Rousey.
I said Ronda Rousey.
I asked Jax.
You said Dennis.
No, I didn't. I said Jax.
Oh,
Jax, Charlotte or Ronda. Do we get a
Charlotte.
good? Ooh, he's going rogue.
I like it.
I don't hate it.
I'm a fan.
Next up, we have the women's title fatal four-way between Queen Zelina and Carmella, your current champions, Sasha and Naomi, Rhea and Morgan, Natalia and Shayna.
I used to go with the Shayna.
Jackson to Shayna.
I'm gonna back the Shayna. I've gone Natalia and Shayna. I think Natalia's overdue a really good WrestleMania win. Like a really good WrestleMania win. I think beating for the teams is huge, and I also think that me and Dennis mentioned, could it potentially be a Bayley return at some point? I think if like for example, I think Sasha Banks should be a women's tag team champion, but I think she realizes the only way she can do it is to team back up with Bayley, and I want to see Sasha and Bayley back in a team. Their chemistry is incredible. They work so well together. They can put over so many people because they're that good. I genuinely think that Sasha and Bayley could come back to them.
Can you press F11 for me, dumb man?
Can I what?
Press F11.
Nope. I don't know what F11 does.
I don't know what that does, so no.
It puts your thing to full screen.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I don't have to look at your taskbar.
Yeah.
Not taskbar, your tab bar.
Do you know you're currently like doing the thing in Discord? The top of the web page is there. You can see like the search bar and stuff. If you press F11,
there you go.
Okay. I wasn't even looking. I hadn't even looked at that since I started it, honestly.
Yeah. Doman, your predictions for the Fatal 4-Way?
I am going with a new tag team champions of the women's division. Team Brutality. We're going with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley.
Right, okay. Before I get the rest of the predictions, feel free to talk about why you think it's going to be Rhea and Liv. I just need to quickly run to the bathroom.
Okay. Jax. Who do you think is going to win that match?
Oh, he said Shayna because he got dumped by Shayna before.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Is that what you said, or did I mishear?
I didn't say that. I said, you know what? Never mind.
No. Let me be. No, what'd you say? I want to make sure I heard correctly. I'm sorry.
He said he knew a
Oh,
Shayna.
he knew
No,
a Shayna.
No, I dated a Shayna.
He dated.
Dated a Shayna. Gotcha. Was it amicable, or did she break your heart?
Absolutely, shattered to pieces.
Oh man. Well, if you need someone there with a broom to sweep it up, or worst case scenario, a bucket and a mop.
Would you like Dennis to?
I was 14, man.
Shayna for you?
Oh, you're 14. Yeah, you're 14.
Okay, so
never mind.
we'll just move it along. So we have.
I do apologize.
Four
who
duos
was?
here. We have Carmella and Zelina, Naomi and Sasha, Liv and Rhea, or Natalia and Shayna. So Jax, you are on the clock.
Huh?
Your answer, please.
My answer would be, I don't like eating olives.
Okay, I like it.
Okay, so I like eating olives wins. Dennis, who did you
No, I
predict?
don't like eating olives. I'm not a fan of olives.
No.
What about olive oil?
I do like olive oil, yeah. I think for olives, it's the texture.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Popeye, but olive oil is pretty cool.
Can I just say, the fact that we're doing a WrestleMania podcast that Jax has just said, I think with olives, it's the texture.
All right, Dennis.
What do you want me to say? Huh?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Right, Jax, the issue is you said exactly what I want you to say. I just didn't expect it.
Yikes. For my quick prediction to move it along, I'm actually gonna go also with Doman, Rhea and Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for the new champs.
I like it.
And Jax, pick a team 1, 2, 3, or 4.
4.
We haven't. No, we haven't have a Nari and a Shane yet.
Yep. Next up.
I had 2 seconds. I pressed the button and a lot of icons appeared on Word. Next up, we have the second celebrity involvement. We have Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn.
Under the category of I don't care about a match, I'm going to go Johnny Knoxville.
On the exact reason that I just think the fact that, as me and Dennis said earlier, the fact that Sami Zayn is having the fun he's having with this storyline, I don't think WWE need to put him over. I have also gone with Johnny Knoxville.
You guys see that Snickers ad? That was crazy.
Yeah.
I want Sammy to win. I want Sammy to win, and I think Sammy should win, but I think they're going to go down the route of Johnny Knoxville. Dumb.
Sammy. Next question. All right, I have no input on it. It doesn't belong here. So, Sami Zayn.
Like the Discord.
What was that?
What?
Huh?
Nothing.
But yeah, yeah. Jax, Sami Zayn or Johnny Knoxville?
Who's the second guy again?
Johnny Knoxville from Jackass.
Oh yeah, I met him. His eye fell out of his head.
Okay.
He just pushed it back in.
Yeah, is that you backing Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah. Any man that could just, push his eye back in after it's fallen out, I like.
I like it.
That's my kind of guy.
Oh, that's how I choose stuff too.
So next up, we have Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory.
I'll start this one.
2 seconds. So,
who do I want to win?
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. Who do I think is going to win, unfortunately? Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
Yeah.
Seamsies. Yeah, I've gone Theory, but I've gone in a way that McAfee still doesn't look bad. I mean, he's not a wrestler. He's not going to look bad losing Austin Theory.
Don't say DQ finish. Don't say DQ finish.
I've got Balor interferes. It fits with what's been happening in recent weeks. I don't know why I've got Balor interferes. Theory wins by DQ, but my prediction is Austin Theory wins. Regardless of how it happens, I'm predicting Theory, but I believe it's going to be not
you're
clean.
thinking that Balor interferes on Pat McAfee's behalf and still loses?
No, I think he comes out and attacks Austin Theory.
A babyface.
I think he does what he's been doing on SmackDown. He comes out and attacks Austin Theory.
I mean,
that's the sole reason. It's because of what's been happening on SmackDown.
All right. I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that he comes out, but I think he comes out and McAfee gets to win. But I'm not taking Pat McAfee.
I'm not taking Pat McAfee.
No, I'm taking Austin Theory.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love Pat McAfee in the WWE. I think he is one of the best things that have happened as a non-wrestler.
You know what? Can I choose? Can I change my mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
We haven't
moved.
No, it's already tied down.
Right,
It's tight.
nope.
Fine.
We
Come
haven't
on, who
moved,
you
right?
picking?
Well,
Who you picking?
I am going to take Pat McAfee because I think you're right that Balor comes down, but there's no way that Balor comes down and gets caught attacking Theory for a DQ. McAfee wins that match.
Actually, yeah, that's a fair point.
I like that.
McAfee
I don't think
wins
he's getting
the
caught.
match.
Pat wins thanks to bit of Finn Balor.
Yeah.
I'll take that action. I'm putting power for myself. Dennis, do you want to change? Finn Balor
Nope.
this week. Is talk of Finn
No.
Balor enticing you a
got,
little bit?
I still got Pat McAfee winning. I think because you still got the Damian Priest
Wait,
angle.
you have Theory winning, right?
I do have Theory winning, yeah.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, I don't think we need to push Balor in Theory as of yet because the Balor and Priest hasn't subsided yet. So I think Theory and Balor do fight eventually, but I don't think it happens as quickly. So no, I don't believe Balor's coming out to interfere.
Jax, Pat McAfee, or Austin Theory?
The flamethrower.
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
Got it. So you changed Greenfly, right? To McAfee.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Balor gets caught.
The fireman will fly.
Does this match real quick? Does this match turn into a Teddy Long special? That Teddy Long comes out because Finn Balor comes down, but then Damian Priest comes down, and then Teddy Long comes out. I know he won't come out, but
Hey, player.
It turns into a tag team match.
No, I don't think so.
No, this isn't Raw. This isn't Raw. This is WrestleMania.
But then you get Balor, you get Damian Priest on the show. I'm just saying. It's WrestleMania. Weird stuff happens, but we'll continue on the next one.
So next we have the Raw Tag Team titles. We have the current champions RK Bro versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. I have gone with the Street Profits, and the reason I have gone with the Street Profits is not because RK Bro it's time to split up or anything like that. We said about who realistically is going to challenge the Usos for that title over on SmackDown. I think if Bianca's on Raw, it makes sense to have the Street Profits on Raw. Give the Street Profits the title. They're excellent. I don't think Alpha Academy are going to be better champions than the Street Profits, so give it to the Street Profits. And send RK Bro to SmackDown. Give some proper competition to the likes of the Usos. Really bolster the tag division on that end, and let the RK Bro guys head over and just take their titles and become titles across both shows. And just keep that team together because it's incredible.
You know, I don't think you take them off Raw because they're the best thing on Raw right now. I'm actually going with Street Profits to win, but I'm going with Street Profits to win as heels for the same reason I think Bianca Belair turns heel against Becky and wins the title. I think you got to keep that group as heels for their run. So I got Street Profits in a full heel turn.
Dennis?
I am Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
Not Dennis, no.
Hear him roar. I am also taking the Street Profits. No disrespect to RK Bro, but I think it's kind of the same concept. I think they want to break up RK Bro. They wanted to break them up before. I think they want to break them up now.
No, they're fine.
I don't think that it's a breakup that's happening anytime soon, but they need to be part of a chase instead of the champions. And I think the Street Profits are going to be a heel. I give no respect to Alpha Academy. I don't even think that this should just be a regular match.
It should be a standard type match.
So we'll just go with that. So I'm going with Street Profits.
Jax, RK Bro, the Street Profits, or Alpha Academy?
To sneeze.
Bless you.
I haven't sneezed yet.
Oh.
Preempted, bless you.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Paul's on the kickoff show right now.
I like Logan Paul. Oh, that's a strange statement.
Yeah, Dennis, your predictions for the 11th match?
Did we get anything from Jack yet?
No. RK Bro, the Street Profits, or Alpha Academy?
Yeah, the third one.
Alright, I like it.
And the 11th match is who?
We have, according to Wikipedia, we have Edge versus AJ.
I think this is match of the night. It steals the show, and it could potentially be, if not top 5, definitely a top 10 WrestleMania match of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Edge. Edge has taken some L's these last few pay-per-views. I think on WrestleMania you give him a dub. I go Edge.
I've backed Edge for similar reasons. I think the sort of new persona he's been rocking is excellent. I think he's pulling things off really well. I've got Edge to beat Edge.
I like it. I'm gonna go with AJ Styles. I think that it's all about the build up. It's all about afterwards. I think a crazed Edge chasing after AJ afterwards works. I think if Edge wins, I don't think AJ is as reliant on trying to get to Edge. But I think Edge it will eat him up to try to get back to AJ if he loses. So that's why I'm going with AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles is he has been the number 1 wrestler in the world before. I still think he is the number 1 wrestler in the world. And it's hard for him to get an opponent that matches him.
Lives up to it.
Well, that matches him. And Edge has never been he's a glorified spot guy, and I know that's a bad thing to say, but it's not in his case. Like, I don't think he puts on good matches. I think who he's matched up with makes a good match, and that's why I think this match will be, like you said, one of the top 10 of all time. But AJ Styles, in my opinion, will win this match because I think of the chase afterwards.
I won't be mad if AJ wins by any means at all. I think
I agree with that as well.
I think this is gonna be match of the night.
I think personally it could be a match of the entire weekend.
Could be. Domain, you triggered a thought that I'm going to ask after we do our predictions, though, since we still have about 45 minutes. Well, 49 minutes.
Jax, we've got a couple of matches left. We've got a couple of matches left to get through.
Jax, do you choose Adam Copeland or no? Yeah, Edge or AJ Styles?
The first one.
Edge.
I like it.
The guy that hosted Night Fight, Christian, he's gonna enjoy that.
Okay.
Best friends.
Did you want to ask that question now, Dennis, or did you?
Now I'll wait till the end.
Let's wait to the end because it's going to spur a very good discussion. I think.
Don't forget it.
I've written it down. I've written it down.
Ooh,
okay.
Love that. So Bobby versus Omos.
I'll enter this quickly and hope we all move on very quickly. I'm going with Lashley, and I don't care about this match.
I'm writing everybody's predictions in except for Jax's.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Lashley.
Yeah, it's going to be a squash. It's going to be an absolute squash. Omos cannot carry that match. I think if that match is, it's going to go early on night 2. I would assume with it being Omos. And it's just going to be a very quick get in and out, get the crowd like, cool, yeah, we're on the way.
Well, here's the part of that. They never do anything that we think is going to happen. Don't be surprised that MVP turns on Bobby Lashley and now Omos is now in the Hurt Business.
Yeah, again, stuff like that wouldn't surprise me. Just, I don't see Omos winning it. Just because I don't see them giving that level of push to Omos.
But I don't
think he can hold himself.
That gives a push to Omos. He is a full heel at that point, and Lashley can now be a face because he got turned on. So now you have a Lashley face. I don't know what they're going to do with belts or anything like that. As actually a big superstar face now. So. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm with you guys. Lashley, move on.
Yep. Next.
Jax, Bobby Lashley, or Omos.
Almost.
I like it.
I don't.
I don't, but okay.
I like that he took it.
I mean, if anyone were going to take it, it were going to be Jax. And then finally, probably the biggest match of the weekend. We have the WWE Champion Brock Lesnar versus the Universal Champion Roman Reigns in a winner-takes-all unification match. Jack, we'll come to you first because I think you're going to have the least to say on it, kind of thing. Do you think Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns?
Yeah,
Which one?
the second one.
Roman
I-
Reigns?
yeah, I agree with that.
I like the shout.
I highly agree.
With what? Nothing's been said so far.
With-
I am going to join Jax, and I am going to acknowledge the tribal chief. I think Roman Reigns defeats Brock Lesnar. I think Paul Heyman, whether directly or indirectly, has a little bit of a say in the outcome. And I also think that, unfortunately, as much as I have loved this Brock Lesnar has been one of my favourite Brock Lesnars. It has been incredible. I genuinely think there's rumours that he needs surgery now. I think it's Brock Lesnar's last match in the WWE.
All right, I'll go next. 'Cause
That's heavy.
Dennis will probably have a little bit more to say.
Okay.
I don't look at just WrestleMania. I mean, most of my
Yep.
picks have been what happens after WrestleMania.
Beyond, yep.
What's the push?
Yeah, that obviously played a part in my predictions as well. But
So I think Brock is a very good champion. I think Brock is a very good face at this point, but I don't think what they're looking for is the build-up, and the build-up is after this. Then what? If Brock wins, then you just wasted a historic run by Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then now you're gonna have a rematch, and now you're gonna have this. Reluctantly, I'm gonna pick Roman Reigns, but I'd love to see Brock win tonight or tomorrow night because I like Brock, but
I'm not gonna lie, I've never been fully sent on Brock, but I've loved this kind of face Brock.
Right. So I'm unwillingly taking Roman Reigns, but will be rooting for Brock tomorrow night. Just because I think storyline wise, it's better if Roman wins. Yep. Because it opens up any way you want to go with it. Any returning people, any, Lashley, a Brock, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Fiend. It opens up a lot of different options where Brock is literally just chased by Roman Reigns at that point. And I don't particularly like that, so I'm gonna pick Roman Reigns. Dennis?
This is hard for me. Not gonna lie. That's what she said. I love this is the best version of Brock Lesnar we have ever seen in the WWE. He plays to the crowd. His Monday Night Raw, accepting the What champs were amazing. Him taking on the moniker of Paul Heyman's introduction of himself. Likeable, relatable.
On Monday night, that was great.
Oh my goodness. This might be the best Brock Lesnar we've ever seen. On the other side, I don't see Roman losing the title to a guy who's not going to be consistently on. a weekly show like
TV,
Raw.
yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. I'm also going Roman Reigns, but it's not going to be in a way that humiliates Brock if it's his
No,
last
I
match.
agree.
He won't be. I do believe it will have to be done with distractions, a lot of help from the Usos. I even believe Paul Heyman gets involved with hitting Brock in the head with a title, like as he's like trying to get up by the ropes.
See,
And
I don't think he actually attacks him. I think he gets in there with the intention of doing it, and sort of
but the
just
distraction, the distraction gets him
doesn't do
enough.
it. But because Brock turns around, I think Roman then comes off the ropes and rebounds off the ropes, hits a spear, and that's the count. I don't think Heyman should actually attack him physically, but I do think he should get in the ring with the intention and sort of have like a couple of seconds where him and Brock are just looking at each other, and Lesnar Heyman just doesn't attack him, but he opens the door for Roman to sneak through and get the spear in, and
For sure.
that's how it ends.
Yep. With that being said,
so just before we move on to your question really quickly there, Dennis, we've got 40 matches. I have got that written down. We've got 4 matches, a couple where I think realistically in the triple threats and fatal four ways and stuff like that, we've all kind of gone similar routes. There's 2 teams being picked in those, like the women's tag team match. We've split it across 2 teams out of the 4. The triple threat, we split it across 2 teams of the 3. I think we've all kind of gone very similar ways. I think the ones where it's again where we've either kind of all gone the same or it's a very even split. I think we're in for a very close run affair in terms of who gets the most right. I won't lie, but that is all 14 predicted.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Do we have any
sorry.
opinion on the Kevin Owens show? Is there
it is going to be
a match.
My winner and loser of that prediction is everybody wins because
yes.
it is going to be Stone Cold and Kevin. Oh my! That apart from a match, I am so excited. Stone Cold in his era, apart from The Rock, was the greatest on the microphone. Kevin Owens in this era, there's not many guys I put above him on a microphone. So just those 2 in the ring at the same time is going to be pure wrestling gold. I'm very excited for that. Everyone's going to be a winner with that. I don't care what happens. Everyone's a winner.
How long do you think that is? Do you think it's a quick
I think it's a 10 minutes.
Do you think it's 15, 20 minutes?
I think
it's
10 to 15 minutes, and I don't think it's just KO and Stone Cold that are in the ring.
I believe the talking goes for about 5 minutes, and then the beer bath and the beer drinking and the party lasts for 10.
I don't know if Austin can be in the ring that long and not stun him.
What I think will happen.
I think there's a stunner. I think there's a stunner at the end, and it is based purely on the fact that KO came out dressed as I can't speak, Stone Cold. I think he goes, oh yeah, by the way, this is for last week, and hits him with a stunner, and that's where night 1 goes off air.
Right. Yeah, I mean I'm interested. That's tonight. That'll be the last thing.
That's definitely tonight. Yeah, It's going to be a great segment, as Dennis said. Two great guys on the mic in the ring, and as I said, I don't think they're the only 2 that get in the ring during that segment. I think there's a couple of other people get brought out. I don't know who.
I'd be okay with that. I like No Man's side, the JBL and the Booker T side of things. I think those would be great additions.
Anybody from Texas? I mean,
even Taker? Does Taker? Or would that overshadow it? Taker's from Texas.
It would overshadow it, and usually tonight, I mean, at some point either tonight or tomorrow, they'll bring the Hall of Fame class out. So
that's a good point.
He's not going to come out for that and for this, and possibly be in the match.
Doman. Think of this image. You've got Stone Cold standing over Kevin Owens with a beer raised in the air, JBL on his left, Booker T on his right, Taker with a beer raised behind him. Tell me that's not the image you want to end night one on.
I mean, that would be good. Yeah, for sure. I don't disagree with that. Before Dennis asks his question, I'm going to make a quick pit stop real quick. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
Because I'm interested in the
wash your
question.
hand. Wash your hands.
Only one of them.
Cody. I think we just janked Cody until he's back.
Who?
Cody.
Explain.
Jax, I have a question for you, sir.
Yeah. What have I been doing this whole time?
No, I know what you've been doing this whole time. Do you want to watch with us?
Not particularly.
Okay. No, I know that's not your thing, but I just wanted to make sure we extended the invite.
Yeah, so something we're doing as like the podcast is there if you want to join us.
That's a podcast.
DDP comes back to claim the stunner as the ooh, crazy. I like that. I do like some DDP. Diamond Cutter was actually one of my favorite finishers growing up. I like that. Crazy. So, Greenfly.
Sorry.
Here's what
my dad just came upstairs.
It's okay. Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, go on. Ask you.
Here's what I see happening before Brock versus Roman.
Boom.
We've got a camera on Brock getting ready to come out. We've got a camera on Roman. The lei is around his neck. The title's around his waist. Paul Heyman is there with his hands. The Usos beside him. And all of a sudden, someone catches Roman's eye. Camera pans back. It's Cody. He gives him a nod and just says, "I'll see you soon."
Shot me.
Plant that seed, baby.
No, bring him out tonight.
Oh, no, bring him out tonight. I'm just saying he's still there for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, and play up that potential Cody versus Roman kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll see you real soon.
Or you want to protect Roman? If you want to protect Roman, make it a triple threat match for the title. Cody versus Seth versus Roman. And either Cody or Seth take the pinfall. That's how you protect Roman.
From each other, yeah.
Yeah.
Roman doesn't lose. That realistically, that could play really well into giving Cody a title for maybe a month or two and have Roman win it back for next WrestleMania to have The Rock v Roman for the bloodline kind of thing.
Yeah.
And without like giving it, just having him keep it for the full year.
Yeah.
Another question is, because obviously they're not going to get rid of the brand split.
Right. Sadly.
If they unify these titles, the titles themselves are going to SmackDown. Do they bring back the World Heavyweight Championship?
Actually, what I think happens, honestly, what I believe happens, because they do have a much smaller roster than when they started pre-pandemic, when they had the split, right? Actually, I think Roman goes to both.
The champion goes across both shows.
I think Roman defends it on both shows, absolutely, because then it gives a lot more options for storylines, especially if Seth or Cody is on Raw or SmackDown. That gives the option for a triple threat.
You could probably also, I mean, if you did that, you could probably also have like, if say Cody goes to SmackDown, Roman could be cutting a promo on Raw, thinking he's safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cody come through the crowd, full Shield style, and fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Bring back Dean Ambrose at some point and give us a Shield reunion as well. I don't want that. It's been done so many times with the Shield race.
Honestly, they're the faction that got me back into enjoying wrestling again.
They're for me. They're my favorite ever faction. I think they're one of the best as well. They're up there as the very best. Speaking of best,
Doman, you said it made a statement earlier that triggered Doman is back. It triggered a really good thought. You said, in your opinion, AJ Styles is the best active wrestler in the world.
I agree with that statement.
Can you ramble as fast as you can your top 5 active guys in the world? Not company specific.
The best I can, real quickly, I would go AJ, Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, Okada.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kenny Omega is one of the best wrestlers in the world. And talk about technical wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, CM Punk is probably still up there, honestly.
Yep. I go.
So much cash, baby.
For me, these could be interchangeable because I believe these are the 5 best in the world. For me, I go technicality, presence, how they move in the ring, and then, of course, crowd reaction. Again, any order. I'm not saying this is number 1 or number 5. I'm saying AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, Seth Rollins, Bryan Danielson, and Okada are my top 5.
My top 5 in
very
order.
similar to yours, though, man. Yeah.
Right.
My top 5 in order, 1 to 5. So the first name I mentioned is the best. Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, very close. I think going off the criteria that Dennis just said, I think Kenny just pips it. Okada, Daniel Bryan, and then either Seth or Mox, and I'd go Seth.
Yeah. I think Seth has proven you can pretty much put him in any predicament, and he
there's
just
not a
he
storyline
kills it.
or a situation that he can't carry.
Yep. And I haven't, maybe, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen a bad Seth Rollins match since his injury. And I'm talking years ago when he messed up his knee real bad.
Yeah, when he did his knee at the live show.
I cannot think of a bad.
Yeah,
I can't think of a bad match he had.
Right. Very interesting that we named 5 each, so that's 15 wrestlers, entertainers.
We named 7 people.
Well, 15, not different, but 15 total people were not mentioned. Some were mentioned by one of the people. Nobody mentioned any females.
You know,
I think for me, I think it's for anyone who knows anything about English football. I've always said there's a competition called the Ballon d'Or, and it is the best football player in the world. And goalkeepers who obviously do not play outfield, so they're not as involved in the game. They don't get the headlines. They very rarely get it, and there are some excellent goalkeepers out there. In this situation, the females are goalkeepers and the men are the outfielders, right? The men steal the headlines a lot of the time, probably because there's more male wrestling on any given card. It's not a bad thing or anything like that, but the men do take the headlines a little bit more, maybe because they're more well known. I think that there are a lot of women that are better wrestlers than a lot of men. But I think it should go, you have the men's division of the best and the women's division of the best. Not because of, it's not no equality and all that lot. I just think if you're going to give the women the recognition, you should name the top 5 women, and that way it's you actually name the top 5 women. And I think, as I said, in the Ballon d'Or, I think the goalkeepers should have their own award as well. I've not heard much about the best women award. I know Mox won the best wrestler a few years ago. I don't know if there is a specific women's one or whether women get put in the main one. But I think women deserve the recognition and they should have their own award, just so that someone actually wins something for being the best female.
Well, you basically, for stuff like that, you want to go with probably the Wrestling Observer to see who they have as the best.
Yeah, because I know they put Mox at the top of the top 500.
Right.
That was a couple of years ago. I don't know.
What wasn't Adam Page, and he just win Wrestler of the Year? For this past year, but I mean, yeah, I'm sure they have a female Wrestler of the Year. Which, I mean, if you want to go down that road.
No. So.
I'll be very honest. I'll be very honest.
4 winners are AJ Styles, Adam Cole,
Baby.
John Moxley, and then Omega, and Roman Reigns finished runner-up last
Oh,
year.
I said Adam Page. I didn't mean that. I meant Kenny Omega. I did not mean Adam Page. Adam Page is good.
When I saw Kenny Omega, I was like, oh yeah, he's just got the wrong side of that.
Yeah.
You know what? With Adam Page, I will say this when it comes to Adam Page. I am never overwhelmed with his matches.
But they're never bad.
He falls into the Randy Orton category for me.
They're not necessarily showstoppers, but they're just good. They're never bad.
Right.
Consistently good.
But going back to the women's comment real quick there, Doman.
Mm-hmm.
Can I be very honest and say AEW needs to do a lot better job of developing the women professional wrestlers they have, because even watching them, like Ruby Soho going from WWE to AEW, she is leagues beyond
she's
like technically wrestling. She is so much far beyond the rest of the competition at AEW. It's not even close.
Well, that's
so if I were to
she's from, though. I mean, she's from the luchador.
She
Mexican,
is absolutely
heritage and stuff like that. So she's, I would say any luchador background or anybody with a Japanese background is going to be well ahead of anybody that doesn't have that. Like, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming like Dr. Britt Baker probably doesn't have that type of training. She's good though. Right. She's really good.
She is. I will. You know what? You're right. I think Britt Baker could hold her own and be a headliner in WWE.
Right.
I absolutely think she could be.
I think Asuka is probably, if she's hurt,
number
obviously.
one.
She, in my
Healthy
mind,
Asuka
she is
number one. Healthy Asuka is number one.
Healthy Asuka number one. I think Lynch is up there. I think Lynch
Charlotte is up there.
Charlotte's up there.
By what she can do.
I'm not gonna lie. Yes. If we're looking at WWE, because that's where we just said like that's where the best women wrestlers actually are. I think it's Asuka, and then is it the four horsewomen?
Yeah,
Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley.
Yeah, all four of them.
Yeah, and
Asuka really
tops it. And Asuka tops it.
For me, I do move one person ahead of Bayley and Sasha though, and I wish she would be used better, because when she was a champion, she was amazing. She would steal every match she was in, even if it was like she was the main person in it, and that's Alexa Bliss. I think Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, interchangeable, because she came through like with the horsewomen and part of the women's evolution thing.
She's just been so far out of it though.
And that's what's so frustrating.
She got shafted by the
Fiend gimmick.
Fiend thing. It ruined it. She was an excellent competitor as just a standard heel that played off the crowd. She told them to shut up or bless your heart and stuff like that. And she built storylines because she was great on a mic.
Yep.
And then she helped
and
it
she
through
backed it up. She backed it up in the ring.
She didn't need to be thrown into a storyline which realistically really hindered her, because it relied on a character that wasn't on TV all that much.
Right, I agree.
In terms of like falling for the thing. But also, I've just realised we only have 20 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis, you had a question.
That was it.
Unless you've asked it.
No, that was it. My top five. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
In that case,
that's
20
what
minutes.
triggered it. So, WrestleMania. Here we are.
It's 22 minutes away.
So, I know we've talked returns a little bit. I know. Cody
there was a little
one.
point of what you mentioned to me yesterday about what could happen in a couple of days' time.
Yeah.
Instead
of, and I think you may have asked it as well previously. Not WrestleMania returns. Who would you love to see the night after WrestleMania return on that Monday?
Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt.
I mean, it's the same people that you want to be
Well,
in
it's,
that Seth
it's
Rollins.
the people that you
except,
would be willing. Shame.
except,
Cody, because we want Cody tonight.
well, no, but are you talking about returning, or are you talking about maybe moving some people up from the NXT roster?
I want Tommaso Ciampa there on Monday, and I want him in a good match or in a good promo, and I want him to get treated correctly because he's incredible.
I think after what happened earlier today, I don't think he gets pushed tomorrow. I think it's more of a surprise in a couple weeks.
I wouldn't hate that, to be fair, either, as long as he gets pushed correctly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind. I would.
Finn Balor him, I'm going to be upset because he is excellent.
He's I could.
He was part of one of my favorite rivalries of all time.
Gargano.
I would love him. I would love him. Yeah.
I'd love Johnny wrestling back as well.
I would like to see like Monday or Friday, whatever night it is. I'd like to see Bailey come back.
We mentioned this. We
Bailey
said
and
this.
Asuka.
That's why in my predictions I went Natalya and Shayna, because I think Sasha and Bailey team up to go after the belts.
Oh no! I think Bailey comes back. She goes after Charlotte.
I don't think she comes back into the main event.
I picked Ronda to win, but I think
yeah.
Bailey comes back and Charlotte's the champion. I think that's where she goes. I think she's been gone long enough, so there'll be a big enough pop. She keeps herself relevant. She keeps herself relevant enough, tweeting out here and there, so people just don't forget about her. But I think.
Do we keep her heel? Do we bring her back as face?
I think you bring her back as that pseudo face. She's a Becky. She's not a face, but crowd.
She's not a full heel.
Right, but the crowd doesn't let her be a heel.
Yeah, I wouldn't hurt that.
So I mean, I think we've pretty much have gone over a lot of everything.
Yeah.
Any last words?
You know who we are getting on Monday? Veer.
Yeah. Who else is so excited for that?
I actually over Veer. I would love to see Elias again, and the old Elias. I want to hear the guitar strum.
Shut up, Dennis. No.
You don't like Elias?
No.
You don't want to walk with Elias?
WWE.
I do not want to WWE. No.
Elias.
I want the guy that plays guitar to stay off TV for as long as possible.
That's Rick Boogs.
It is now.
That is Rick Boogs.
It wasn't.
Bring back Elias to feud with Rick Boogs, a guitar battle.
Right.
You know what? If they did that, I wouldn't hate it. If they brought him back and he called out Rick Boogs and were like, "I'm the best guitar player in this business,"
that would be.
I'm the best guitar player in this.
That would be a great mid card. That would be a great mid card feud. I would.
The thing is, if they did that right, and they did it where it was such a stupid storyline, it was not about wrestling at all. I'd want that to culminate at WrestleMania as well.
Yeah.
Not to go much farther because we are up against it here.
I think what we're doing now is literally just filibustering. I don't think we're going to go over anything.
No, actually, I have something.
Ooh.
Tonight, tomorrow, Monday, or Friday. Do we see The Rock?
No.
Ooh.
Is The Rock mentioned?
You know what? I think we talked about this before. I 100%, and I think Greenfly is the one who teased at this. If not Monday, then absolutely Friday. SmackDown, The Rock, play the SmackDown.
I want
Roman to come out.
I know you're getting it.
I want Roman to come out.
They bring the Rock
and
out.
Say, the only one who hasn't acknowledged me is my cousin.
I think that's how they have to. I do think next WrestleMania is Roman versus Rock for the bloodline kind of thing, and I do think it bases off the fact that The Rock maybe so Roman wins a title match, like a really close fought title match, or it does happen. It happens on Monday, or even after the main event on Sunday, where Roman wins the unified titles. The Rock comes out. I'm proud of you, because kind of thing. I'm proud of you, Oos. Works perfectly fine.
Oops.
And he's like, you might be proud of me, but I'm the head of this table. I'm the tribal chief. It's time to acknowledge me. And The Rock doesn't say anything. He doesn't hit him. Roman expects him to bow down. The Rock just turns around, drops the mic, and walks away. There's no violence.
But
There's no, I'm not going to acknowledge you. I think the perfect time to do it would be tomorrow after the main event, or on Raw or SmackDown, depending on where you're taking that unified title, potentially across both, as Dennis said earlier. But I think that's the perfect way to big that up. It's time for you to acknowledge me. And he just turns around and walks off. Yeah. And Roman Reigns is just stood in the middle of the ring. Usos probably throw Rikishi in there. Naomi's come out to acknowledge him. Obviously married to Jay. And everyone has acknowledged him. The Rock comes out and he just doesn't. He just turns around and walks off. Everyone's confused. Roman Reigns is just stood there gritting his teeth. And he's livid.
So you think, yes, we see a Rock?
No, I don't. I don't think it happens this week. I think it happens later down the line.
Okay.
So that it's not an overly drawn out thing for next WrestleMania, which is when the match between Roman and Rock will happen. I think it happens maybe somewhere around SummerSlam.
Do you think it's mentioned in the next week?
No.
You don't think The Rock's name comes up?
No.
In the next 4 shows?
Don't. But no. Okay. But I do think Sunday night or Monday or Friday would be the perfect time to do it. I just don't think WWE do it so that they don't draw out The Rock versus Roman at next year's WrestleMania for a full year.
They drew out Cena versus Rock for over a year.
Yeah.
So they've done it before. They drew out the Brock versus Taker rematch at Mania.
Yeah. And
neither
one of those were for titles. So
yeah.
I mean, this could be the thing. Like, you could have Roman lose to Brock, and then you have The Rock. I don't know. So, we're about 12 minutes away from the start of WrestleMania. If you can give us a good outro, I would appreciate it. I think chat has fallen asleep, or they are just getting their snacks ready. They're getting their snacks ready. I know we have part of chat coming over here tonight, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, I was just about to say that. I hope we see as many of you as possible jump over in the Discord. And enjoy the festivities of WrestleMania weekend with us. Yep, we will be live in Discord tomorrow as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, feel free to jump in, ask questions, but, respect others.
Also, I have a question.
Sure.
Want to make out?
Oh my god, no.
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
No. You're like American? No. I'm joking.
But yeah, if you do not already have the role to the Discord, let me know, and you can get the wrestling role in the Discord. Right now, we are actually in the Discord right now. We'll stay in this Discord. You can watch it. You can talk to us. We're just gonna be talking wrestling.
All of you.
Jax is unfortunately leaving us. So goodbye to the man himself. And I think that's us done. I think we're gonna end the stream just about here. Give us all a chance to go and prepare ourselves for the main show.
The most stupendous
2-night WrestleMania of all time. And as I said, we hope to see as many of you as possible. Thank you to everyone that's watched and also taken part, throwing some predictions, throwing some top 5 moments as well. And we will see you guys next week as well. I believe the normal time of 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no one was correcting me, so I was going to assume it was correct. But we'll see you guys at 7 p.m. next time, where we probably won't be doing a full wrestling podcast. We will be talking about a little bit of other stuff as well.
Thank
And,
God.
You're
I
welcome,
think next
Jack.
week we let Jax.
We'll have the WrestleMania recap next week. So thanks for tuning in next week for us.
Next week we're gonna have another special episode. It's gonna be a Jax podcast. Jax is gonna be in charge.
I think we do this like every other one. Where
Yeah,
it's
we do a podcast where Jax
I'm back
comes
here
and adds
taking a
comical
nap.
entertainment, and then
I come out with
Jax takes control. So
yeah.
we will see you guys for that. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope you enjoy the WrestleMania festivities. And we'll see you in Discord.
Cody.
Finally, The Rock has come back to...
Still talking?